No, it's just at 000, like consistently. It's weird.
No, you stopped it for me.
That's correct.
How dare you?
I'm gonna quickly check if. Okay. Oh wait, does it work?
And yeah, it just doesn't put it in chat yet. Like that.
Okay.
That is still broken, unfortunately. The dice does work. I'm not
Yeah,
hearing anything from the server. That's weird.
put mine in
Same.
chat.
Now it's quiet as well for me.
Now I'm hearing music.
Yep.
Well, my
still
page
nothing
isn't loaded, so.
Have you
that's
checked that you've
probably
muted your own
my
browser or
problem.
something, maybe?
No, I don't run it through the browser. That's the thing. I have a separate piece of software. Which I'm just shutting down the server for you guys. Sorry. Like just log out and
Like,
log out for
okay.
everyone. No, that's sorry. Let me quickly turn that on again for you.
Yes, please.
May have fixed the import issue too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm gonna test this because I think it has to do with not doing the, because I was checking the address it was going to when you open up the file browser, and it pulls up. It looks like the actual IP of D&D Beyond, but then if you don't have the right like it was giving like extra slash stuff, so I'm gonna test it and see if it might work if I.
Oh, you mean
change
the
URL.
like the import of your character? As a matter of fact, it seems to be a random error. So
Oh, okay.
I reloaded the server after our session, and it imported without issue. You're in there.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so it is now it's a registered bug. He knows he's going to look at it, but apparently other people have reported the same thing. It's just for fighters for some reason, and it's
Or Rangers. I'm a Ranger, so just for Rangers.
Oh, so then it's fighters and rangers. So there you go.
Maybe something about the fighting style or something.
Maybe it's just all the people who notice it are fighters.
Or maybe it's just the fact that you
They're
puke up
reporting it.
dragons. You puke up dragons, you know?
That could be the problem.
All right, music is burning again for me. Okay,
Same.
weird. Server is up. Then I would assume that the sounds are also working again.
Yes. The mood music.
Oh, I still haven't added my last spell. I'll figure
In
it out later.
on D&D Beyond or
in D&D Beyond, I think I have one more spell I could choose with that, because I'll figure it out later. I don't think I'm gonna use it just yet. It's a tough choice because, as you know, Rangers are you got a very small pool.
you got to take the most out of that. Yeah,
it does. It doesn't really matter for you because you're just gonna miss anyway.
Not if it's a DC spell save.
Ah, fair enough.
Crooked Snake Sorceress is what? Did that go up your nose, my friend?
It was about this close.
It's weird. It's weird hearing it without the music. Yeah. Or not hearing the music, I guess.
Is the music working for you now?
No.
Not right now. For me also.
I'm in the browser settings trying to reset some things. So I think it's just me trying to reset a thing.
Now the music stopped.
Reset.
Now the music's playing again.
It was just a lot quieter.
No, it stopped for me. I think that's just a desync for when you start playing. They probably need to download it first or something.
Is it still stuck? Because there should be something starting to play right now. Like it has a slow build up.
Mine's playing.
It works.
Yeah, it's just taking a long time. Maybe it's just the first time it's doing it. That's why.
That could be it. Like usually the first track always takes a little longer. All right. So if it is still loading, while we wait for that, let's recap what happened last week.
Well, we went exploring deep into the sewers of under
Drakkenheim?
Drakkenheim, yes. And Follow the instructions you're given to go meet the queen, and we found the secret hideout of the queen's men down beneath in the sewers. We met some lovely folks down there in the sewers. They were all Queensmen, and we met this nice robot person who seems like Nesbit. Either he's familiar with something. I think the idea was his mentor built him. We solved a riddle that, if I do say, Nabarlin, using his normal cunning, was able to deduce this riddle quite simply, and we made it through into the queen's lair and had our audience with the queen, and
it went terribly.
No, it went great. What are you on about? We're alive.
She threatened me and was kind of mean.
You were equally mean, so it's a fair trade.
Oh, I don't think I was equally mean.
It's terse.
You forgot. You left out the most important thing. We refound Fritz again, though.
We did refine Fritz.
We found Fritz, and we learned that he's a homicidal maniac.
Well,
those are just assumptions.
Oh, sorry. Allegedly a homicidal maniac.
Better.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what we actually ended up doing, because like there was a very long session with the queen.
Yeah, because I mean, after we left the queen's the queen's area, we went back to the robot, the clockwork guy, and kind of got confirmation what the queen said about Despip's mentor. So we at least know that she's being, to her knowledge at least, pretty accurate with that.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And the roof of our house has been fixed.
Oh yes, and we got the new roof. Yeah, the most important thing, our roof's been fixed, and I gave Tobias some meteor ore to see what he can come up with. I did ask him to try and maybe make a piece of armor, because I think shooting people with delirium might not end well.
Your war crime days are over, is what you're saying?
Not exactly, but I guess for now, I still have some.
It could just be over.
Yeah, because like the arrows I have now only work. I think Barry said they will only work with light armor, and I have to have the actual delirium tipped arrows to just shoot regularly. But I did not like. It could have gone way worse. Shooting her before, but anyway, that's all I can remember. Am I missing anything? I'm sorry, Isabel.
I'm good with that.
I'm a little distracted, Isabel. I'm also working too, so that's.
We got some info that Amethyst Academy wasn't completely clear with us, that they know about a deal Oscar, the crazy guy, has with the Hooded Lanterns.
Yep.
Yeah. And basically the Queen asked us to stop the Hooded Lanterns, or to stop the deal with the Hooded Lanterns, and get Oscar to our side.
Yes, that was the main point of the conversation with the. That is what we did.
I think that pretty much sums it up. And as you left the court of the Queen through the supposedly gas-filled hallway, you find yourself back in the Court of Thieves bar area, in front of the bar, where you indeed scoped out the robot a little bit more. And you learned that, as you said, this was indeed made by someone that Nesbit knows. And that is where we ended. So that's also where we're going to be picking it up. You have a lot of things on your plate, and there's potentially more. What are you guys going to do?
Well, it seems like our next step would be, once again, to go back out and try and. I think all roads are leading to try and get that flower for the crazy wizard. Regardless of.
Yeah. Sorry.
I was like, in order to be able to go further into the city, we need to get the flower for the wizard, And I think walking up to the wizard with the flower, saying that we've talked to the queen and that she's wanting to work with him and that he has to work with him, it might go better if we let him know that we've upheld our end of the bargain, and we've got his flower for him.
That makes
It might
sense.
be a little bit more amicable.
We should also try to tickle some of the information or gain some of the recipe from him if possible to maybe get on the good side of the Amethyst Academy.
Yeah, that's
But that's gonna be hard because they, from what I
Yeah,
remember, they wanted everything.
who do
So
we want? Who do we want to be on the good
Well-
side of? Is the question.
The
Well,
queen?
Nimbarlin can be very persuasive.
No,
Now,
no,
Chris, me, maybe I'm not so persuasive, but
that's
Nimbarlin
better.
can be very persuasive. Yes.
It sounds like you're suggesting torture.
That is one technique that Nimbarlin is not unfamiliar with, but that is not the first technique.
And
But
who's
Well,
homicidal
it's-
again?
It was the thing that you suggested first, so it is. You can own it. It's fine. That's what the game's about, right? Being slightly more violent than we can in real life.
That's one of the ways.
I'm sorry,
Politely.
what is that coming? The fuck
What
is
did I
Are
say
you
the true
okay?
thing out loud?
Who hurt
I'm
you this
sorry.
week?
No, I'm fine.
Okay,
I'm okay. I'm good.
all right.
I'm just trying to talk
This
more.
this
I
is the
guess.
real me.
This is the real me. It's bad.
Jesus.
but so
Okay,
from what I
anyway.
remember, the flower was supposed to be in Queen's Park, right?
Yep. Should be inside the. As far as I recall, it was quite close to the Hooded Lantern Gate,
Yeah,
which we
because
also have a discounted price to be able to travel through if we want to go that way.
I think they didn't want any toll.
Oh,
As
was
far
it?
as I remember, they're just controlling who goes through or
No, there was
just
a toll, but I think what's her face? She gave me the signet ring, so I could say, "Hey,
Right.
put a good."
We never
hold on.
got to see her either.
Yeah,
Okay.
we
Yeah.
didn't really see her again because
Yeah,
we were
'cause-
supposed to meet her at the windmill.
Yeah, but she never arrived, and they
And
wouldn't
she
talk
never
about
really
it.
showed.
I know. I'll just messing with him.
So perhaps we should go for the gate then.
Probably.
Um,
The closest gate would be the Academy gate, but that's the Spider Gate. So
No, we're not going to dimensional spiders.
yeah,
Like no, just no.
we could also go straight to the clock tower and try that.
Yeah, that sounds like a great way to end up on the shoulders of a giant boss.
well, we gotta choose something. I think all the options are just bad.
my
All the options are just.
my
all the
vote
options are just
my vote's for the hooded
Yeah.
lanterns gate. We might get some more
Okay.
information on what's her face.
Just out of curiosity, we went some way
Who
in the
is-
sewers. Where are we approximately compared to the city itself?
So you've been walking through the sewers, following the rough mapping that you got by Lies and Deceits to actually find the Court of Thieves. Going by that logic and knowing the map of Drakkenheim a little bit, it would suggest that you are currently a little closer to, or maybe even underneath, the walls of Drakkenheim. But it is hard to map a underground sewer system to an above ground map if you can't see both of them at all times. So you have a rough idea that you're still underneath Drakkenheim. That you know because you're in the sewer. That is a fair point. You're most probably closer to the inner city. You might be underneath the inner city right now, but you're not 100% sure.
So that's also an option. Just try to explore the sewers and see if we find a good way inside the city.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean,
we
we
can
have
explore.
several. Yeah, we have several ways of moving stealth and checking ahead of us. So I'm actually down with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's
And
do
the
that.
alternative is talking to people. So
Well, I mean,
Ew.
the alternative. I mean, what was the alternative? Was going through the Hooded Lanterns Gate? Was that the other way?
That was one of the other
basically going
options.
outside the city, circling around until we are at the ferry, going across the river to the Hooded Lanterns Gate. That's like a huge detour.
Getting
Well,
lost in sewers would also be a detour.
the only thing about the sewers is we have Mlimp and all his buddies, and then whatever sort of either horrible meteor monstrosity or possibly pile of trash they worship is something that's down here in the sewers.
Hmm.
Yeah, but the light, like
Well,
we're all
It's like
fair.
it's like which enemy do you feel the most confident being up against, right? Is that
then-
what you were gonna say?
Well, I think if we're looking for just confidence, I think going to the Hood Lantern Gate, saying, "Hey, what's the toll? We've worked with y'all before," and then walking through and being right there by the gardens, which is right there by the gate.
Well, we're still missing. We're still missing information on that Lang or whatever Wang her name was.
Yeah,
Right.
but it seems like they didn't want. Something happened. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
They
something
Right, but-
definitely
tried to-
happened there because she didn't come to the where we agreed to meet up after we saved her life.
But it also seemed like that going through the gate was just a matter of paying the toll. Which I know
I'm pretty
paying
sure
lots of tolls,
we got compensated in terms that we don't need to pay a toll.
or yeah, that too. Now it's just free gate. We can go into it,
Yeah,
and the
Well,
But we have-
location.
the four of us, not Fritz.
That's true.
Well, he can he can go hop into his bottle, and we can carry him through.
That was a pipe.
Pipe.
Hop into the pipe.
Or have
It's not as
That's a-
easy as that.
Well, it was a thought, but I'm not super keen on walking through the sewers, especially if we don't know which direction to go. I mean, we kind of know the direction, but we don't know the sewer layout. Whereas the other route, we know exactly where to go. We can just which route to go. We know what we're going to deal with, where we're going, and getting lost isn't really too much of
Yeah.
an issue.
Having both those sewer routes as a backup, it might be useful, especially if the shepherd, the Hooded Lantern should find out what. If we do anything and they find out, we might get a problem there. But right now, while we have good relations, we can go through there. The only thing I worry about is if they ask us what we plan to do in the city before we go, because they don't like us looting the place, stealing anything. So they might just go, "Hey, what do you plan to do?"
We're looking for our friend Felix. He got lost in Drakkenheim. We're looking for him.
Yeah, but on the
Or
way back out, they might
alternate-
just try to confiscate the flowers if they can't be easily concealed.
Alternatively, we
hide
could
things,
say that
too.
we're working for Oscar. They
Oh,
have a direct.
That's true.
They
Yeah,
have a
we are
direct
working for
relationship with him, so
Yeah, we're sitting there by
Question is-
Oscar.
if he
I
sent
don't
us to
think-
fetch supplies, then
Yeah, then that should be fine.
But I don't
I
think
mean-
just the guard knows that about that relationship. Maybe
don't-
some higher ups, but if you go to the
I mean, we don't know. We're not going to be sitting here in this tavern the entire session. So
I think let's go ahead and
Yeah.
so I
throw
think
some
we're agreed to
votes.
try and-
Throw some votes. I'm down for either the sewers or the gate.
I'm saying gate.
gate,
I'm fine with either.
I'm pretty good at sneaking. I would say the gate.
Okay, let's go.
All
To the
right,
gate then.
gate it is. Yep.
All right.
I really
So, how are you going to get there?
I think just going out the way we came.
Yeah, we're gonna backtrack the same way.
Okay. Let me quickly check one thing. Because obviously that's just going to work fine. There'd be no issues.
Oh, would you look at that? A beholder crosses your path.
Wait, when did you hear about the beholders?
In place of his eyeballs are delirium
Those-
crystals that he shoots laser beams out of.
Hold that thought.
Queen of ideas. My
I
gosh.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Hey, that's a pretty good idea.
All right. So you managed to go back through the sewers based on what your description was of how to get here. You don't take any detours. You just straight go for where you came from, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Which is
That
in
will
the yeah. No, go ahead.
that will in fact bring you back to a sewer connection with the fighting pits underneath Buckledown Row. Is there anything you want to do over there, or do you just want to exit and walk? Because you can, and that'll save like 2 map changes, and you can just go to the map screen.
I think we're just going to the map screen.
Yeah,
We
Yeah.
have no business in Buckledown Row right now.
Fair enough, and nobody will pay you any mind. So,
I mean, I could have used that the first time around.
I know. So unfair, right?
But then we wouldn't have a story.
True.
All right. There you are. You are currently in or just outside of Buckledown Row. You had a couple of options that you talked about. And one of those options is indeed to go to the gates of the Shepherd's Way, so the Shepherd's Gate, which was the one that was, last time you crossed it, held by the Hooded Lantern, which is gate number 5, which is, who is doing, that's probably Tim. It is, of course it's Tim.
He
Get to
made
know
an
my players, right?
he made an upside down heart or a set of balls.
He drew the butt of Drakkenheim.
Ah!
So that is the a supposed route that you can indeed take if you want to get all the way to the gates. It is indeed a consideration on how you want to travel. You can go through the spokes, you can go around the spokes. You will have to cross the river. You can do that through Styx, the ferryman who is there. And then again, you can choose to go through the sprawl or around the sprawl and then up towards the Shepherd's Gate. So this requires a bit of discussion. I see a template that Tim has put down, which is an option on how to travel. But how are you guys going to travel?
I'm good with that, actually.
Yeah, I think grab Drakkenheim by the balls and just do that.
Well, there's a yeah.
Yep. That's one way of putting
We
it.
are being super careful, I guess, which is good.
Being careful is always a good idea in Drakkenheim. All right. In that case, I mean, feel free to bring the token all the way. You weren't. Oh, you were just measuring. You can bring the token all the way to Styx at the very least, because for that area, if you're going to travel around the spokes, technically, you will be fine. Going up through, like along the Dran River towards where Styx usually has his ship parked, does bring you back into the outskirts of the city, of course. But for now, it seems that luck is a little bit on your favor, and you don't encounter anything that might be perceived as dangerous.
When we arrive
As you
over
come
at...
to,
Okay, go ahead.
Hmm?
Go ahead.
As you arrive at the docks where Styx usually has his boat, you look down, and to your, well, hopefully not to your surprise, he is indeed still there. The boat is softly rocking on the Dran River, as it is moored against a piece of wood. I imagine all of you get down to the boat and get in,
No,
and Styx just
not yet. That's what I was going to
Oh.
say. That cabin that
Then-
was there,
yes,
is the candle. The candle's still lit in that cabin.
Yes.
That's right there. And if I go inside, has anything changed since we've been there?
give me a perception check.
Why are you poking the bear?
Well, not bad.
That is
Not good.
a
13.
total of 13. No, nothing changed.
Okay.
I have a 20 passive perception. Does
Did
that
you go in
help?
and check?
We walk up. Nabarlin's walking into the building. He goes, "Wait, hold up, guys. Would you follow him in there?"
I would at least look after what he was doing. I probably wouldn't move, but I would look.
If you don't go inside, then your 20 will not affect the outcome.
Okay.
But he was looking about a candle or whatever, and he said that he couldn't know.
Well, I opened inside. I opened the door to look inside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess if nothing's looks different, I'm just gonna leave then. We can go on the boat.
All right. As all of you lower down to the boat via the, I believe we established was like a rope stair down.
Rope, yeah.
A
Rope
rope
ladder,
ladder.
yeah. You get into the boat, and Styx is just sitting there, being his usual relaxed self. And as the last one of you hops onto the boat, he slowly extends a hand and just simply says,
How much
Tell
was
her-
it?
Tully will pay him the same amount as last time, just 1 gold.
Okay.
Nabarlin will also give him a gold coin.
Okay.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's
Very
Let's
reluctantly.
give him some gold.
Very reluctantly.
It's such a precious resource. Let's do it.
Yeah, it's not
Looking
like
at,
we have. It's not like we have oceans of it.
So Fritz, this is the first time I believe you see Styx. What's your reaction?
Is it?
Because this, yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Didn't they meet him on the other side of the river? I think they
Ye-
met Fritz around King's Road, wasn't it?
Yeah,
but you weren't.
We've never taken this route with Fritz.
How did we get back down? I'm not sure.
You crossed the
went
river on a
around.
makeshift raft, right?
No, I don't
Oh
think
no,
so.
that's not. Sorry, different different game. That wasn't you.
No, we did. We did cross because I think Fritz gave him a silver and it worked fine.
That's true. Yeah. All right. Never mind my question then.
Wait, if I gave him a silver the last time, then I'll do that again.
Okay, so that's 5 gold and a silver.
It might. Yeah. Huh. Okay. Yeah. I'll give him gold. It's fine.
Right.
I mean, we all know Tully is irresponsible with his money, so.
He puts the hand back in his moldy pocket, and you hear the clink of metal on metal as his coins drop down in there. He grabs both of the oars and he brings you to the other side of the river. As you're going to the other side, just like last time, about halfway's the river, you notice that the mist obscures both of the sides of the river, so it's hard to see both where you're going and where you're coming from. But up the river and down the river is a little bit more clear. And as you are moving, you can see that the river is flowing from the inner city of Drakkenheim. And again, you can see that imposing view of the inner city walls and the two sort of towers that are on the sides of the river that have these really imposing dragon-esque stone statues standing on top of it, like way high. It is an imposing look. As you get closer to the other side of the river, you'll see a couple of sewer pipes, as you saw last time, that are exiting on the river. One of them is still actually pouring out some water. It must be rain or something like that. And without further ado, you will reach the other side, and Styx will moor the boat. And with one final, it probably is time to exit his vessel.
Thank you, old friend.
All right. Let's.
Continue by the other ball.
Why not?
So, if memory serves, let me move you guys there and Sticks back into river. There we go. And Sticks is now on that side. As you move out of the sprawl and basically around this area to get to Shepherd's Way, at some point you do have to cross Temple Road. It is one of the major roads that goes into the city. Elodie, with your 20 passive, I will grant you this without having to give a roll. As you're getting close to Temple Road, all of a sudden you will notice something, and unfortunately, this one isn't relied on sight at first, but on smell. As you get closer to Temple Road, all of a sudden you smell a horrid, acrid smell almost, and it won't take you long before you realize what it is, like without a doubt. That's urine, and like very strong urine. It smells like a zoo almost.
And they're peeing everywhere.
As you get closer to the road, you will see a small pile of corpses that have mostly been unfleshed, if you will, mostly bones. There is a single crude spear that has been stabbed through many bodies that are on this small pile, on top of which the butt of the spear is a crude reddish kind of flag attached.
Reddish flag.
Yeah. You don't necessarily realize or recognize what this flag is for, but seeing the pile of bodies, the smell and whatnot, I think you can make a pretty okay guess as to who did this.
Okay, can I make a roll to see that?
If you count immediately, then you can roll for it. Yes. That would be.
So it's gnolls, isn't it? Or the whatever they call the gnolls here.
Yeah, they call them Garmy here, but they're the gnolls, 100%. Yeah.
Okay.
But you can roll for it, like all the same. See if Elodie knows.
Because I wasn't. I mean, I was there, but I wasn't at that session.
That's fair.
Although why would if it's that pungent, why wouldn't anybody else notice?
Oh, you will, like as you get closer. It's just Elodie's the first one to notice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's no way you don't notice this unless there's something wrong with your nose.
In which case, if Ellie doesn't know, Nabarl will be like, "This is clearly null piss." So,
well, thank you, Nabarlin, for that.
For saying something that she already knew, apparently.
Thank you, Lord Obvious. All right, Sir Obvious.
Can we see from which faction the bodies are?
Yeah, sure. It is honestly, there's a couple of things in there. You see a couple that aren't wearing any armor or clothing whatsoever. But yeah, there are two that actually are wearing a distinctive bit of armor. One is wearing what seems to be the scraps of a green cloak, and the other is decidedly wearing chainmail armor, and there is a small brandishing of a sun on there.
Does it look like there's a kind of morbid, but I'm just thinking ahead. Is there any a coin purse perhaps that the gnolls didn't eat?
You can make me an investigation check to go through the pile.
Let's do it.
Are you that desperate for that 1 gold?
I might not find anything anyway. We'll see.
14. Let me counter roll and tell you that yes, indeed, the what seems to be the member of the Hooded Lanterns, because that is most probably what this person is, seems to indeed have a small leather pouch still on them. It is covered by a big blood splat, and the ropes that are holding this thing together have been chewed on slightly, but for some reason left behind, and it has in total a whopping 9 gold with it.
Sweet. I will take that 9 gold, but leave the pouch.
How old
Just
is the pile?
How what?
How old is the pie? The pile.
So it's hard to say because bodies don't rot in the general area of Drakkenheim.
Right.
So just based by decay, it's hard to tell. But it's been defleshed and left here with a spear in it. Anywhere between 1 day and longer than that.
Okay.
Completely defleshed, or
Mostly, I mean, they're like when you like if you've ever done that yourself to any sort of animal, like there's always bits left unless you really want to get that off,
Right. Yeah.
which is the meat byproduct part of the meat. That's still on there. So to continue the thread of being crude, if you'd be really desperate, there would be about enough for a ration. But
No, I wasn't. I wasn't gonna eat
Okay,
it. I was trying to.
cease.
I was trying to see if we could recognize anyone.
Well, you see
Which
bits of a green cloak, and you see a worn
because
chainmail
we
with a
yeah.
depiction of a golden sun. Beyond that,
Okay.
no.
So
Nabarlin would like to roll a cooking skill check to get a ration.
my God,
I'm
Nabarlin,
joking. I'm joking. I'm
my
joking.
buddy.
I mean, that's what we call survival, and you totally can if you want to.
No, I'm good.
So
Blondie's gonna-
I totally would have been hanging back a little bit and look for track marks, like see what direction and how fresh the track marks are.
Fair. Give me a survival check. Nice. That's a 26. So that's a lot, as you might have noticed. I think when you do, you will immediately share with the party.
Yep.
These tracks are not too old within the last day, as a matter of fact. But that's not the most disconcerting part. Looking at the tracks, they are most definitely like dog, cats, animals. Further confirming these are indeed Garmir and or their companions, because Garmir often travel with like attack dogs and worse. That's the tracks you see. What's most disconcerting about this is the sheer amount. This is about the most that you have seen in a while, and quickly looking over this, if you aren't mistaken, that has to be at least 30 to 40 sets of tracks. That's a war band.
Oh. Okay.
What direction are they headed in?
They're headed towards the city.
Okay, so down Temple Road, basically.
Yeah, or like up, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah,
like
I
towards
mean,
the city. Yes.
towards the city, yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Towards the inner city.
And there was a
Yes.
group last time we were around. There was a group, like two people of the Hooded Lantern, who was out tracking the potential sightings of a Garmir warband as well. So I'm guessing we have one of our friends right there on the pile, because they probably found the warband, and
It didn't go well.
It went about as well as they'd expect.
Because it failed successfully.
Yeah, they oh yeah. Well, no, the mission was a success. They found the warband. Which gate is the Hooded Lantern gate? Is it
5
1 or 5? 5. Okay.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, that's there's still a couple of gates that you haven't been to. Number 4 is one of them. You have been to number 5. That is the gate for the Hooded Lanterns. You know of the number 1, which I believe. Let me see. You've been to number 1.
Yes, the spiders.
Number 1 is the spider one, right?
And you haven't been to number 3, or you've been to number 2 as well, close to it. You haven't been to the actual gate.
Well, I think the plan was to go up to the Hooded Lanterns because we're going to Queen's Park Garden, so that's like going that we're almost there anyway. So
and
we need this information.
We need to warn them as well.
Yeah, if they're looking, if they had people looking for the warband, so it'd be good to tell them that it's been found.
It could be too late too.
Which is why we still need to go there and see if situation has changed at the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I recommend
continue your road.
Yeah, no, I recommend we go further out now and go down Shepherd's Way instead.
Go this way and then come up.
Yeah.
And then
staying clear of the warband, basically.
Then make our way along this road up here.
And then down Shepherd's Way.
And then go in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. While this is happening, I need to step away for like a few minutes. Just continue.
Yep, no worries.
All right. As you move around the sprawl, basically into the adjacent forest, you won't encounter anything, but you will hear some weird sounds coming from the forest. It kind of sounds animalistic, but like, you ever heard like a bird or an animal that which you were like that sounded weird? That almost as if they were echoey or shadowy. There's something about the sound that came off of these animals. You don't see them though, just heard it. But you don't go into the forest, you stay close to the sprawl. And once you hit the junction with Shepherd's Way, you decide to actually go up Shepherd's Way towards the gate. Shepherd's Way itself seems to be completely clear. There is, of course, still some cobblestones here and there, some grass, as you could imagine, dead grass at that, but it's there. But you don't see any corpses. Luckily, you don't also see any warbands. So you will safely come to the Shepherd's Gate. So let's pull that one up. That should be this one. Hey, Felix. Nope. Felix was still there.
Oh, I saw
Uh,
Felix. Man, I'm getting delusional here.
That's what Drakkenheim will do to you. Let's pull this bit back. There we go.
So, is
All right.
there anything visually changed about this gate since last time?
No, it seems pretty much the same. And I mean, you've seen a couple of gates now, and between those, this one is by far the most fortified. Like the way that this gate looks, this has been deliberately added. Like this wasn't there, and you can tell this wasn't there before Drakkenheim became the Drakkenheim of nowadays. There is this sort of moat-like structure that has been dug all around the gate with wooden spikes in it, wooden drawbridge over that they seem to be able to remove, not pull up, but like remove entirely. There's these spikes that are standing upwards all around, and yeah, on top of the gate, you can still see the ballistas poking out in various directions. As you are approaching ever so slightly, you're still quite a ways away from the gate. You will notice that the gate has already spotted you as you are coming up on Shepherd's Way. You will notice that various people on top of the gate have already turned their attention towards you. The odd crossbow has been pointed in your direction as well. They're not aiming exactly at you, but in your general direction.
How dare you aim at me?
Okay. Can me or Thistle see that they're actually doing that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess at that point I will raise my hands, and as I'm walking up, be like, "Hell, we're I guess I'm bring news that you might want to hear."
As you like, you vocalize this like loud enough that they can hear that at the gate, right?
Yeah, if they can't hear me, I use thaumaturgy and yell, so they can hear me.
Fair. It'll take a second before there is a door swinging open on the side of one of the gate towers. This door looks decidedly makeshift, by the way, almost as if they just broke out a couple of rocks and made a door there so they can get onto the rafters that are made halfways and at the top of the tower. This is about halfways, and you see coming from that door a gentleman coming out who looks to you below and says, "Hello, I believe I've seen you before."
And before I go further, does it look like the Knolls have not been here? They haven't breached here yet. Just before I
No.
start. Okay, I didn't want to. So there's Knolls coming. They're like, yeah, we know. We just killed them, but
They're all gone.
Like we've been by earlier. We on our way over here, we came across some. Put my hands down. We came across the remains of, I believe, some of your scouts. They look like they've been eaten by. And I look over at
Garmir.
what were they called? Garmir. I believe we met them before, and they were looking for the warband, and it seems they found them.
You notice that there are a couple more faces are pointing your way. There's a couple coming onto the rafters as there is a discussion going on, which is different from the normal day-to-day silence. One of the bowmen on the rafters walks up to the man who was just addressing you and whispers something in your ear. And he nods and then looks down to all of you and he says, "You were the ones that brought in Petra. I remember. Thank you again for that. You were saying Garmir nearby?
Pretty
Yeah.
sizable warband.
How big?
30 odd, at least.
Hmm. That is unfortunate. We should inform the commander. What is your business? Are you coming into the city?
We
Yeah,
are.
we wish to travel through today.
Well, I've been informed that if you come back to the gate, you would be getting a free pass to get through without having to pay your normal gate tax. So for now, you are welcome into the inner city of Drakkenheim. Are you planning a stopover at the garrison?
Is that where Petra currently is holding up?
I can unfortunately not share that with you in a shouting distance from the gate, but I would implore you to have a look.
And we
Right? Is
What?
there a place where we can talk not in shouting distance?
One moment, and he walks inside. It takes a couple minutes before he gets down. You wanted to say something, Elodie?
No, that was basically what I was gonna say. That
It's like,
I was like, well,
dude,
can
like,
we can we talk in private?
The portcullis is lifted just enough for the gate captain to get through, and he does. And as he does, the portcullis lowers and blocks again behind him as he walks onto the wooden walkway. Right. Good to see you again. New face. Hang on. Who's that?
This is Fritz.
actually, it's an old face. It's the previous companion we had. He took on a bit of a spell during our travels in Drakkenheim.
You understand? It's really unfortunate. I said he looks better this way, but
The name is Fritz.
Another. Good to meet you, Fritz. It seems that you are in splendid company. I'm pretty sure that I've already shared with you, but in case I did not, these fine men and women have saved one of our very important people in our ranks. Her name is Petra Lang. She's one of our lieutenants, and she was presumed lost. And these fine people found her and returned her relatively unscathed. We are very gracious.
Speaking of, where exactly is she?
She has traveled back into the garrison. She is back on active duty after a little berating, from what I understood. She is currently at the garrison unless she is doing a quick errand, but then she should be home before nightfall. So if you would like to talk to her, you can go to the garrison.
Very much like to check up on her, see how she was doing after that rescue.
it's near fatal. She was pretty rough when we found her.
If you go through the gate, then keep on following the street directly into the city, and then take the first major street to your left. You will immediately notice where the garrison is. You can't miss it. If they ask for a password, the password is iron and copper.
Here's something I just thought about. We never told her brother we found her.
No, I think we told him.
Maybe you
Yeah,
did.
we did. Yeah,
We did.
Okay.
That is all reason why you're getting a free pass.
yeah.
Okay.
And just
Right,
to
Welcome.
super clarify, the password is the words iron and copper or
The phrase iron
substance?
and copper.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Do note that is the password for today. The password
Right.
does
Yes.
change around, sometimes daily, sometimes longer, but be advised that the password can change.
Of course.
Welcome to Drakkenheim. And he turns around and makes a sign, and both of the gates are opened for you.
Thank you, Gate Captain.
You're welcome. Come on through. We don't like to keep them open for too long.
Understandable with Garmy around. I
will
can't
lead you
see.
Yeah, I will give you a little bit of visibility over there. There's really nothing there. It's just a gate. Technically, this is the top site, but at least you can move through.
I felt like blinking
As you-
in Men in Tights there for a second. I can't see.
As you move through the gate, you are now standing right behind it, and you'll see a visually similar area over here. Even though the vibe is that they have cleared out this area since there's a garrison and whatnot, you see that there is still very much a moat-like structure over here with spikes in there, a wooden bridge that they can pull back, and wooden spikes. There's also a couple of ballistas that are pointing inwards, though decidedly less than the ones that are pointing outward. What do you do?
Head for the garrison, I assume.
Oh,
Yeah.
say the password.
At the garrison.
At the yeah.
At the
Yeah,
garrison.
yeah, it's not here. We're already
Every
through.
freaking
Just say it again. I don't know.
Oh, you broke his camera.
yeah, like I was just I noticed that the thing you reset. So every single hooded lantern you walk into, iron and copper, iron and copper, iron and copper. Good morning, iron and copper. they'll really appreciate you just like slinging that around everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that is a bad idea. You're right.
So which way was
So
the
you
garrison?
want to move up to the garrison?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
We're gonna go
I
see
will
our
just-
girl.
I will adjust on the map, but let me quickly grab the faction location of the Hooded Lanterns garrison. Now, as you move into the city, looking around you, you notice that the general area around you decidedly does look different. You're inside the walls, after all. The buildings over here look different. Most of the buildings outside the walls were made of wood, thatch, simple building materials. Not a lot of stone, save for maybe the foundations. Some of the buildings in the mansion row that you have been, where the scientist lives that you are on a mission for, were made of stone, and some of the buildings closer to the wall were made of stone, but everything else is made of wood. Now that you've made it through the gate and you're walking around here, you notice that all of the buildings over here decidedly look more expensive and just like all over better, mostly stone and whatnot. And what's interesting is that most of the buildings over here, while they do suffer damage, are still standing more or less, whereas like the vast majority of the sprawl and whatnot is just like burned down and broken. The city still looks very hit, if you will, but at least there's buildings here. Another thing that you will notice is that the haze that is everywhere does seem to be a little thicker here. Nothing that you immediately notice beyond the visual comparison difference, but it just looks a little bit more thick here. As you follow the directions, walking up the road and then taking the first major road to the left, you immediately come upon a compound. This seems to be what used to be part of maybe the armory or something, as this building does look like it was built pre-Drakkenheim's destruction. It is a rather large stone building with a singular tower, which rises a bit higher. It has an inner balustrade from which people can look over the stone wall. It seems to have a couple of simple doors in there. And from what you can tell, looking at the size, there must be some sort of like, well, room for quite a few people inside if you want to huddle them in there. As you approach the building, you notice that there are a couple of people on active duty right now. Even here, they do have a couple of ballistas, which are all aimed towards the outer ring.
Now you could say it, Elodie.
Okay. Let's walk up there, I guess.
Elodie, quickly say it.
Hello there.
Hi.
Iron,
We have,
iron and copper,
we
sir.
have
Sorry.
now I'm saying it out loud, it does sound a little ridiculous, but I'm also like, he gave us the password, so let's just say the password. All right. So we talked to the guys at the.
So you say iron
Can
and
I- Yes,
say
I
iron
do
and
say
copper.
iron and copper. Yes, I do.
Oh, Oh, right. Yes. One moment, and you see him like poking back from where he's standing, and you hear the sound of a chain going from a certain mechanism. And sure enough, the smaller portcullis over here raises, and you are allowed inside.
I'm sorry.
He was like trying to make some small talk, and we just scream the password in his face and go past him.
Yeah.
That's essentially
Well,
what happens. But hey, important business or whatever. Like you don't make small talk. It's like earn a copper.
I I do have thieves' cant, so it would take 4 times longer to do that.
I don't think you should use Thieves' Cant with the Hooded Lantern.
No,
For two
no.
reasons.
That's-
One, they probably won't be able to understand, but they will recognize it as being thieves' cant, and that is a gamble.
I think
I-
thieves' cant's more of a Queensman thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
As you walk inside, you see that this is actually not a rather large building, but it is somewhat of a courtyard with the multiple buildings around here. And you'll see that it is quite lively here as well. There's quite a few hooded lanterns walking around doing things. A couple of them seem to be training on training dummies. A couple of them are just moving crates around with certain items. You'll see that one of the buildings is slightly more open, the one straight ahead of you, which has been made into a makeshift blacksmith. Right next to it, there is a building with a more thatched roof, and you can look inside as a door is hanging open, and you'll see various beds with wounded soldiers on there, seemingly being tended to some other hooded lanterns. In the middle of the courtyard, there is one of the hooded lanterns giving instruction, and as she looks over her shoulder towards you, you will instantly recognize her. It's Petra, and it seems like she's busy.
Well, we're here now, so she's busy with us.
Petra.
Dang.
One way to say.
Hey.
Hello, guys. Good to see you. One moment, please. Um, Sergeant, just continue as we did this. I need to take care of something, so I'll be back. Good to see you. You made it to the garrison. Wonderful. How are you doing?
Well, we got concerned you didn't show up at our appointed meeting spot.
I'm sorry for that. As I told you, when I got back, I would have to report to the Lord Commander, and well, he didn't necessarily agree with the fact that we went out and did the mission that ultimately compromised me. He understood the reason, but he didn't agree. And, well, he told me that I had to stay put for a couple of days before I was let out again on the mission. So,
Isn't staying put
I
in
didn't-
here kind of dangerous?
well, yes, but, well, we'll talk about that.
Yes.
Not now. You must have business.
Well, I mean, if you have any tips, tricks to how to survive, being in here for longer, then that's kind of crucial for our ongoing business as well.
You mean to combat the haze, right?
That'd be a good start.
Mhm. So the thing is, we have to travel in and out of the city a lot. But well, we've secured, well, not secured. We've found a couple of places where we can potentially rest within the walls. We just haven't captured those yet. For me, when I said stay put, it means not going on an active mission. I was still traveling, of course, like back and forth, but I could not risk going to the Ackerman Mill to meet up with you, as if I would have done that, it would basically be against the order of the Lord Commander.
That makes sense. Um. Oh, we let your brother know. He was worried about you. We let your brother know.
Thank you. Is he still in Emberwood?
Last we checked, yeah.
Good, good. So, what brings you into the city? Dangerous territory. What are you doing here?
Come check on you. Just
Well, we've got some other stuff going on, but we were a little worried about you, so that's
Yeah.
what we were doing. But yeah.
Well, I'm doing fine. So, you checked up on me. Was that the only reason coming through the gates? That's expensive.
Polly
maybe
eyes her for a second to gauge whether or not she can be trusted, like completely, despite actually saving her life.
Hmm.
Give me a perception check.
wouldn't that be insight?
I mean, what are you trying to gauge?
If she can be
If it's
trusted with the
her-
information, or if she's going to report this to her superiors because we're probably doing something that could hinder their actions. But she kind of also
it's
owes
like
her life to us, so
We don't have to tell her everything.
no.
Maybe just the general area we want to go. But
Well, I guess I'm gonna look at it totally too before saying anything, and
ooh.
because
What
he's
you
unsure if she can be trusted.
what you need me to roll
mean-
again?
Well, the reason why I went for perception in the first place is like you've had a very limited interaction with her right now, so that would be more like your first perception of her. But yeah, I mean, you have talked with her before, so sure, give me an insight check.
Oh, okay, insight check. Let me do that
Yeah.
then.
So that is a 15 for you,
16.
and a 16 for you. So that is roughly the same. Um, it's not like she's lying, but there's something she's not telling you.
Well, we're technically here to pick up some herbs.
Some herbs. You come to talk to our druid.
No, it's within the city. Apparently
Nothing grows within the
uncontrolled.
city.
Apparently, there's stuff that grows within the city. Not
Oh.
entirely sure what. We've just been given a rough estimation of what it looks like.
Huh. Is that just to sell, like for profit or something? Or?
A bit of both, really. I mean, we're low on coin, and surviving in a near Drakkenheim is not really easy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's apparently there's a someone rolled into Emberwood that claims they can make a some type of remedy that can slow down these potential mutations.
Interesting. Well, if it's worth looking into for you, I would question that. That is interesting information, though. Now you're here anyways. Would you like to meet the Lord Commander?
Oh, here we go.
Damn it.
I mean, yes, but also no.
Yes, but also.
Isn't that
Actually,
just that's
did you
just the
say-
experience of Drakkenheim of just being like, yes, but also it's scary.
is
Uh,
she saying that as a question or as a you should go meet him suggestion?
You do hear that it is a genuine question, but there's something in her voice that either conveys sort of like respect or even sort of like a almost like a fear, like, would you like to please meet him?
Oh, so it's like she wants to present us to him, or
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
like
more
she
that's
doesn't.
that's
Yeah,
the
She
vibe
doesn't
you're
okay.
feel
getting.
comfortable
Yeah.
giving us the information.
Oh, okay.
He can
I
give
mean,
us the information.
based
I
on
guess-
based on the way she's presenting it, I totally would say yes.
Yeah, I think if she's like, if she sound like, would you like to meet him, please? Then it sounds like it might behoove her at least to introduce them to.
Yeah,
Introduce us.
exactly. And so far
Yeah.
she's a good connection to have. So
Great. Okay. Wait here. I'll be right back. See if he has time. He's very busy, but I'm pretty sure he can make some time for you. So I will be right back. Stay put. Like, feel free to look around. Like, just like make yourself at home. I'll
does
be right
anybody else feel royal? Make time for me.
What I think is
So
funny is
she-
I would love for her to just come out and say, no, he can't meet you right now. Okay, bye.
So she walks into the tower that is there, and closes the door behind her.
So I guess
How
go
many
down the
people? How
hallway.
many people are practicing, and like how many people are here, ish, just by a rough guesstimation?
From what you can see, not counting the ones that might be in the buildings and etc., you guess like a good 40 to 50 people,
That's outside.
including the ones that are like on the barricades and whatnot. At the gate where you just passed through, a lot less. Maybe there were ones again that you couldn't see inside, or like on top that you couldn't see. But at the gate, you saw maybe 10 ish.
So a rough estimation would be that they have about somewhere 70 to 100 people inside the city, counting the ones at the gate as well.
That is an absolute gamble, but a number you can go with.
Yeah. Curious. Until he's gonna sit down on a crate and wait.
The building you just passed, Nebarlan, seems to be a blacksmith, where a blacksmith is currently at work. The one with the thatched roof, so the smallest building inside, seems to be some sort of a like a like a field hospital almost. The rest of the buildings are closed, so the doors are closed.
I guess the blacksmith he's currently working on something. She working
Yes, he's working on either repairing or making a sword.
Oh, well, I guess I'll peek in. And it's like it's like he's there. That's a is that you're fixing a sword, making a sword?
Uh, just fixing it up. They found a batch in the inner city that were ours to begin with. So we're just making sure that it can be serviceable again. Modern Angus, nice to meet you. And he extends like a very meaty hand.
Shake a hand back. It's like Nabarlin, it's good to meet you too. Don't make it
You're
out
not-
here too often.
Yeah, you're not part of us, right? No, you're not.
No, we are not.
Hmm.
We're just passing through here to meet the Lord Commander, apparently.
Hmm. So important visitors. Well, that's nice. You said first time into the city, first time here at least.
First time here. Yep.
Wow.
Or actually, for me, first time in the city.
Hmm. Well, I mean, keep your wits about you. It's dangerous out there. Imagine the worst thing that you could run into in this city, and then remind yourself of the fact that it could be worse. That's Drakkenheim nowadays. Just so you know.
I'll keep that in mind.
Good. Keeping your wits about you is what keeps you alive.
I guess I'll let you get back to what you're working on. Is it like so? I'm gonna look. Is he mentioned they found some stash? Is there also like a stack of swords back behind him? Then
Yeah, there's literally like a little pile.
okay. Well, I'll let you get back to it. Seems like you got your hands full.
Yeah. Sure. Good luck, and like keep your wits about you. Yeah. And he starts
Yeah.
hammering back on the sword again.
This tree in the middle. Is there anything special about this tree?
Well, the one thing that's special about it is it's one of the few trees, one of the only trees that you have seen in a mile around. It is very dead, like that you can tell. The only thing on this tree that is like sort of alive is a bit of shrubbery that's like on the bottom. And it's hard to tell whether or not it's alive or nobody has dared touch the leaves that are still attached to this otherwise dead shrubbery. It's either or. But it is an ornament, and it seems that people sort of like left it here either because they don't mind it or because it's a sorrow reminder of the fact that once there was actually nature present in Drakkenheim. Be that as it may, the tree itself is absolutely dead.
Hey, Nabarland,
Hey, totally.
dare you to touch the leaves of those shrubberies?
Okay. And then Barlin flicks one of the one of the leaves.
As you do that, you will immediately hear, "Hey!" And from the nursery pops out a gentleman with a hood over his head, and he immediately points towards you. You leave that alone, all right?
All right.
Fucking youngsters.
Is this a
So the
well?
leaf you flicked is like broke off and immediately fell to the ground. Like that was like it's like dust almost.
Okay, that's why Nabarla, he was curious to see what happened. So that answered that question.
Is this a well next to the infirmary thing?
It seems like it, yes.
Just while sitting there, is anyone coming there to fetch water, or is it
No.
just left alone? Okay.
It's left alone.
Is there water in it?
There is.
Ooh, does it look delicious?
It looks like water.
Oh, okay. Well, then I won't. I don't want any. Well,
After a little while,
I'm so tempted to do it again. It's like, hey, hey, New
Yeah.
Barland.
the water.
Take a sip.
Dare you to drink
Well, I mean-
from that well.
So keep in mind, I mean, Nabarlan, he's in Drakkenheim to see what all the fuss about, and this is the first time he's ever actually been inside the city proper. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it was just perfect.
it was really funny. I mean,
Getting in trouble for. Right, after a little while, sorry.
after a little while, the door to the tower opens up again, and Petra will step out towards you, and then step to the side. And as she does, you notice that a figure is following her. It is a rather big man. He's tall, he's rather broad, and he is wearing a suit of looking seemingly old but well kept armor. It seems both leather and metal mixed. So some plates here and there. There's some chains. There's some spikes on it, but most of it seems to be leather. He is sporting a green cape as well. Other than that, he has rather pretty brown, half long hair and a dashing mustache. I have to say it. He approaches all of you and stands right in front of you and extends a hand. Lord Commander, Elias Drexel, 4th Provisionary Expedition Force to reclaim the capital. Nice to meet you. You must be, well, nice to meet you.
Lord Nabarlan Pysan II. Pleasure to meet you, sir.
Good. This is your entourage?
This is my adventuring party. They are all here. Any motions to the rest of you, if you would like to speak up and introduce yourselves.
Totally gives it just like a short wave.
Fritz gives a
don't.
short bow and just says, "It's Fritz."
Mm-hmm.
I'm Nespip, and I reach out my hand while I'm down there.
He will take it.
I'm Elodie.
And
I'm
then
ready.
this is Blondie, and she humps up.
As you present Blondie, he will look at her and like his eyes will immediately widen. And Blondie's about the size of a dog, right? Like that's her current size.
Yeah, she's a big dog. Yeah.
Yeah. So he will actually bend the knee and like sit in front of her and look at her. And like he will reach out a gloved hand and then look up at you and like, can I, like indicating that he wants to pet her.
Go for it.
Hmm.
He wouldn't
Hmm.
ask that if he knew where she's been.
Who's a good girl? Good stock. Is that a? You're not telling me this is a real dragon, is it?
She is closely related to a dragon. Not quite. More akin to the smaller drakes.
Interesting.
Tell her where she comes
It's been a
from.
while. That is a very valid question, young man. Where does she come from?
Homeland. We back home on the continent across the seas, Faerun, up in Hartsfeld, Luarwar, where I hail from. We have dozens, if not hundreds, of similar creatures, much larger than this, of course, but very similar.
And what about her birthplace?
He was born right here in Drakkenheim. I think the Octarine air helped her grow so fast.
An
Yep.
interesting story.
He birthed her right in our home up in Emberwood Village.
It was
Really, from an egg.
No.
close enough.
Nesbit is just face palming next to this.
Atoli is enjoying this like massively.
Oh my gosh.
The birth of a dragon near Drakkenheim.
Poignant, isn't it?
Well, a sign.
Anyway,
maybe.
we did have actual things to talk about too, right? We have information about um the null problem. I say the right
Yes.
word.
Something has come to my attention about that, and I'm glad that you're bringing that up. So I'd like to hear from you with that. I will, however, as he like slowly stands up again, I will, however, would like to commend all of you for saving my daughter. She
Oh.
must
Wait, what?
What?
for saving my daughter. I said.
Petra?
Oh, I didn't understand this was a family operation. That makes more sense. Okay.
So as you like reiterate like daughter, like you'll see Petra like sheepishly kind of like nodding like yeah.
Wait, hold on. Wait.
A short explanation is in order, I imagine. I
Yep.
have adopted Petra and
Oh,
her
okay.
brother when they were very young. I have trained them as I would have trained my very own. And when the meteor came, they have proven themselves to be very capable to lead. And as such, they are now in the position that they are. We're always short on hands, we're short on everything. So anyone who wants to help the good cause in reclaiming the capital is welcome. I was afraid I would have lost my daughter to something as frivolous as she did, he says as he looks over his shoulder.
Now hold on a
But
minute. So was it like Atoli like looks up at him from underneath his hood and is like trying to just gauge what the hell he's all about as a character, but then cuts himself off again. Never mind.
the reason for her actions are understandable. I know her as a person, and I know her as a soldier. For both of those reasons, I understand why she did it. But it was against orders. We had knowledge that she went against directly. It could have gone a lot worse. Were it not for you finding her, for that I am in your debt. Thank you.
Deep inside's a sentient rat's nest, by the way.
Yes, I've understood. We have sent a detail there, as it is too close to the gate to just leave undecided. We have dispatched a group to this
How big of a
nest.
group?
Let me guess, by the time they got there, they were already gone.
No, as a matter of fact, there was a large group of rats there who were nesting and creating more babies. We found a total of 60 rats down there. We have slaughtered them all without rebuke. The streets are once again safe around the gate. I understand that this was not something
no.
for you. You would have been overwhelmed.
You say safe, and that actually brings us to why we're here.
Quite literally just south of here. Warband of like 30 Garmiers roaming 30-ish, at least.
Nabarlin rolls out his map that he keeps with him and kind of motions to where we were talking about.
Yes. Before I continue on this topic, I hope you understand that in today's situation around Drakkenheim, we unfortunately have to rely here and there on adventurers such as yourself.
Unfortunately, excuse me?
With due respect, sir, what was your name?
Atoli. I grew up here.
We understand it's not always plan A.
Oh, don't you dare.
Why is that don't you dare?
Because I know where he's going with that.
With due respect, Sir Atoli, you being a citizen of Drakkenheim, I hope you understand, I hope you realize that what we are doing here is for you and for everyone else who has lived in the capital, has ties to this place. We are trying to reclaim this capital so that it once again may be the shining example of prosperity, economic liberty, and freedom that it has been for centuries. But the trouble is that in doing that, you would require coordination, planning, and tactics. Things that are honed through rigorous exercise in an army setting. We prefer not to rely on people that barely know how to handle a sword. No disrespect to all of you. You did save my daughter, and it seems that you can handle yourself. But you're not soldiers.
I am.
Certain situations require an army, and not just a small band of friends.
I understand that entirely. However, you said that relying on information from adventurers is an unfortunate situation. How is our information less relevant than any other information?
It isn't, and that is why I'm saying we do rely on it. The thing is, when Drakkenheim fell 15 years ago, we mustered together as many forces as we could, and we tried to put out the fires that were spreading because of the meteor, but we very soon realized that the meteor came with more than just wanton destruction and fire. For the corpses made in the city rose again, looking vastly different than what they did, and they attacked us. They have killed many a valiant defender of Drakkenheim. They murdered the entire king's garrison and the city watch. What was left of that scurried outside and tried to regroup. It was but a shadow of what we had in the city. And we realized that every corpse left in Drakkenheim became just another member of the roaming animals that are inside this city. We tried to work together with the various counts and barons around Drakkenheim, that they may pour their personal detail into our armies, bolstering us so we could once again have a sizable army to try and retake the capital. As you might have realized, our last name, before we are now called the so monicked Hooded Lanterns, was the fourth the fourth force to retake the capital. We have tried 4 times. We have failed 4 times. As such, we can no longer rely on a vast army. We do not have a vast army anymore. There are no more people. We have to rely on whoever is bold enough to come to the gates and through them. And therefore, I must commend you that you do, and I must implore you to consider helping us out. But before I would invite you to do so, there are certain guarantees that I would require. I hope you understand.
I do, and it depends on what the guarantees are.
In the last 15 years, other than losing a whole bunch of people that have now become these mindless monsters inside the city, there's another threat. Make no mistake, this is our city. Yours and mine, he says as he looks to Otori. Yours and mine for all of you if you have lived here. This city stays in our hands, and we have but one thing that we would like to accomplish. We want to find the royal family, as we believe that they are still holed up in Castle Draken. If they are still alive, we wish to
Do
save
you think
them.
they've been there for 15 years and they're safe?
It is a castle. There is a very big chance that they have holed themselves up there. The castle seems relatively undamaged, and the food stores in there would have been enough for a small group of people to last years. Then there is the various escape tunnels, of which I do not have any knowledge, but I know that they exist. Perhaps they have escaped and fled somewhere else. If they did, we would find information on that in the castle. So it is pivotal that we, at one point, retake
But
the castle.
isn't it more important to focus on the people that you actually have and not focus on trying to find people that you don't know where they are?
When
Like,
well,
Petra's a
Elodie,
person, I'm a
El-
person.
Elodie, I don't think you realize just how inspiring it is to actually find royalty.
and I, c- and
How
I can
people
attest
flock to
that,
royalty.
and I can attest that keeping the proper rulers in place and supporting your royalty is paramount to maintain morale and order within a society.
I understand that you have question, Miss Elodie.
It's not that I have a question, it's that I actually think that that is not a good idea.
I understand. I understand that there is a I
No,
understand
it's
that there is a duality in our task, but allow me to elaborate. For there is more at play here than just trying to save someone who once ruled the kingdom. This isn't about just one man or one woman. It is about so much more. And this is the point that I was trying to make. Right now, as we are trying to secure the capital, even in its current state, this is still the capital. This is still a city. This still holds a seat of power. And unfortunately, we are not the only ones fighting for it. As you might have noticed, other factions are starting to encroach on our city, and I do not trust them. Only recently, a whole flock of silver paladins
Hmm.
have made an encampment just outside our gates. Need not remind you the fact that these paladins hail from Illyria, our neighboring country. They have been sent over to help deal with the meteor. They've been sent over as a sign of grace.
so it sounds like you could just trust them.
But
What?
they are an invading force.
Yeah.
This
They're
is an
people.
army from another land at our doorstep. What do you
You
think would happen if they help clean the city? They have men in
My
the
point is that
thousands.
they're saying the same exact thing about you.
Yes, but they are not from here, and we are.
Atoli will turn to Elodie at this point and be like, "You realize that the Lord Commander and his forces here, right at the current point in time, have more in common with the Queen of Thieves of this city than he does with a rival army from another country." And you'll excuse the contrast here, but I mean, at least the Queen is from
It's not a
Drakkenheim as
contrast.
well. It is
I'm
it's an
saying
invading
I was
army.
I'm saying I was born in Drakkenheim, but I didn't grow up in Drakkenheim, and that still makes me a part of Drakkenheim, even though I didn't grow up in the destruction of it. Like, so does that make me not like the logic that you have is just something that I don't understand, and that's okay.
Dragonheim has
But
always been a city that is open to everyone, even when you are not from here. But it changes when it concerns an army in the thousands that are here to help. We do not know their merits, and if they at some point decide, once they have come into the city to clean up, if they then decide to commit regicide and install one of their own, what are we to do? We have hundreds, not thousands of men. We cannot hold them then.
It's better to accept help when you have a position. It's accepting help from a position of power is better from a position of weakness, basically.
you're all like the meteor is
It didn't affect them. This is metagaming. This is not a good person, but they're from a different country where the meteor didn't affect them, so they sent their army over here saying we're going to help. But if they come in, he's
the
saying
meteor
that
did affect them because they lost a trade partner.
Yeah, but not affected in the same kind of way that they
yeah,
lost trade, sure, but they didn't lose their everything.
yeah, like it'd be like if somebody nuked Britain, then USA, it would affect us globally, but like we wouldn't be like affected personally, or our armies wouldn't be affected personally by it.
You'll be like, "Oh, well, that sucks."
Yeah,
Anyway,
it'd be a big economic issue, but it wouldn't be like a major societal impact.
No, I get what you're saying,
Okay, okay,
and
okay,
I
okay,
get what you're saying.
okay,
I'm
okay.
just
I
saying
thought that
that
was good.
that might be that might. I'm just trying to question it a little bit.
Yeah,
Which is
okay.
fine. Like, feel free.
Okay, I thought you're confused as to why he's like
No,
accepting help.
no,
Okay, okay,
I get what you're saying because
right.
that makes sense to me. National pride makes sense to me, but when there's that many people, then
If there's that many people, you can understand why he's hesitant to accept help from
yeah, I mean,
the
Drakkenheim currently is a ship without a captain and a sail and a rudder, for
yeah,
that matter.
but
And I
the
will
answer
say,
isn't to kill everybody else, right?
no,
Like
No, he didn't want to
Not
kill
by
him.
any means. We do not want any bloodshed. The bloodshed that has to happen is the monsters that are inside inside our city. But once that is cleaned up and Drakkenheim can be given back to the people, the royal family is reinstated to once again take the rule over the city. Or, in the unfortunate event, if they have deceased, we would find hopefully one of the princes or the princesses that have been sent away. All we have is hope right now, but once those two can be put back in place, Drakkenheim can once again become the jewel of prosperity, safety, and openness as it always has been. We do not want to simply give that away to another country.
So I guess I got to ask, what has caused the failure to take? Why haven't you been able to make it to the castle?
As you might have noticed, on the inside of the city, in between the walls, this mist that is coming from this meteor is especially hard to traverse. And we're looking for options to traverse it and get to the castle. It is not just the mist itself, it has mutagenic properties that unfortunately can warp creatures into other beings. I'd almost say otherworldly beings, things that you will have never seen before. And
We've seen them.
the thicker
Maybe it's
this
not.
mist is, the worse kind of mutations you can expect. As such, we have not been even be able to get close to the castle. There's other places that we have come closer to, but every single time we do, we just get pushed back by whatever creatures that we run into there. We have tried to get closer to the cathedral. We have tried to get closer to the tower, the one of the Amethyst Academy. Every single time we try, it's almost not worth it. Because we can either send in a batch of scouts, they'll just get murdered. The 5 to 6 of them, they won't make it back. I can send in an army of 40, try to reclaim something over there. They'll probably get killed too. And then I am left with a smaller army again and again. It is almost impossible to make any advancement, which is why we rely on talent in the form of adventurers like yourselves.
Gotcha. Well, it sounds like you send your scouts, and then the army didn't work either. So you've already gone through Plan A and Plan B.
Oh God.
So it
I'm
sounds like
kicking.
you need.
Nesmith is kicking Nabalin in the shin.
Thank you.
It sounds like you need a Plan C, and thank you, Nesmith. That's where we come in. Now we all introduce you by name, but our group itself is called Plan C because that's just what we are in this town of Drakkenheim. It seems like people need options, and we offer that to them.
Why did we ever agree on this name?
Also, I think at this point we are Plan D, aren't we?
We're still Plan D. For this.
Well, it seems that our chances are starting to slowly move in our favor in certain things. And yet again, not with everything. Recently, we have found a way to combat this haze a little more effectively.
Via potions, perhaps?
How would you know?
Got my connections.
We also
I'm
want
a
to try to
local.
combat the haze. It's a thing that everyone's trying to do.
We're looking, man.
Then perhaps in that way we can work together. Yes, indeed. We have found a way to get some potions that will actively combat the haze. And it has so far proven marginally effective. Good enough to make advances.
Good enough to
But
rest within the
unfortunately,
city?
Not exactly. But that is another concern that we are actively looking in. There are a couple of places that we have scouted that might help to rest within the walls. It would be a huge advancement. We are currently setting our sights on the clock tower near the market square. It seems to
Of
be just
course you
peeking
are.
outside of the haze. And if we could make a base of operations over there, might be interesting. Still,
Out of curiosity, you guys don't work with thieves and stuff, right?
the Queen of Thieves thinks she is the regal leader of Drakkenheim, which she is not. Our regal queen is Queen Lenore, and no one else. The
Right,
supposed
but
ruffian
hold,
that
hold,
thinks that
hold.
she is a queen. You do not tell me to hold on. I am a
No,
Lord Commander, mind
with
you.
all respect, Lord Commander, you just said you lost the royal family. Like, how do you know that she's not who she claims to be?
Queen Lenore would never go by a moniker of a queen of thieves. I have seen this wretched scoundrel for myself, and she looks nothing like Queen Lenore. Queen Lenore was a fair lady. She was tall, she was slim, she had red hair, everything different from the Queen of Thieves. Besides, the mannerisms don't add up. Our queen was
And like
graceful and
15
not
years
cunning.
And
since
like
you've seen
15
her, she would
years,
have
and
changed.
If she
That
was
is
Lord,
actually if she was actually Queen Lenore, she would probably come forward and claim her throne normally
Or
and
she
not try
wouldn't
to.
because
or she'd be
you would
killed on
kill her
sight.
before she.
Well, I
With all
think
respect, Lord Commander, you must be you're the fourth expeditionary force into the city. You just say so yourself. You've adapted to the ways of Drakkenheim. You don't come in with an army every time and throw the army at the problem and hope the problem goes away. Surely you know that the royal family is able to adapt as well.
I have a very hard time believing that Queen Lenore would stoop so low as to try to combine the forces, if you want to call it, of every scoundrel and ruffian in the city and then call herself a queen of that. But
No, that I
I
can
will tell you,
understand. That I
I
can
will tell
understand.
you,
Go on.
you make a valid point. I don't believe your point is true, but
I don't either.
I can't deny that it might have merit.
However, the sub point that I'm trying to make here is that whilst the queen might not be the queen, she certainly has an army disposable spread throughout the city. As you very well know, not a lot goes by here without her knowledge. And, not to mention, she is a local and not an outside force. All I'm saying is you might consider potentially working together. You may need an army. She needs forces and knowledge. Well, perhaps not knowledge, but your goals are aligned either way. She wants to rid the city too.
There's a lot of ifs and buts in
There
that
is.
Or you,
consideration.
and you know,
It
you're
does,
never gonna
it,
know unless you talk to her. So that's that
although
too.
it does sound like if we can get into the castle, we can probably have some kind of direction. Either if we find the real queen there, I mean the real queen, the actual queen, Queen Lore there, or we can find out where she went, or I mean, or where the royal bloodline is, because that would at least give some direction as to a way to unify the city against any outsiders. I would want to take it.
There's an old saying
Mm.
goes, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. No one wants to see
That might-
Drakkenheim in the hands of the wrong people.
And while that point is very true, this is a thing that I will have to consider beyond the fact that I do not trust this supposed Queen of Thieves. Let's humor your proposal for a moment. Let's say that we find a way that we can make a truce, make a working standing with one another. What do you think that will do with all of the other factions that are currently vying for the city? Because make no mistake, beyond the Paladins, they are not the only ones that want Drakkenheim under their own control.
No, we've met all of them so far.
Have you?
Mm-hmm. So there's the
So, have you
fanatical
talked to the-
paladins. Then there's also the fanatical pilgrims. Each side will never ally with each other because they both believe purely in their own visions. Not only that, and then you have the sentient rats underneath the city that believes in some sort of dead god. You have the deluded mages of the Amethyst Order, who will
Of
possibly
which
not.
you are a part, I believe. You are a magic user, are you not?
Smiles a little saddened by that, but no, I took my leave after I found out just how deluded they were. I am a magic user, yes, but I am no longer aligned with the practices that happened within the Amethyst Order.
Have you run jobs for them.
Recently or in the past?
Recently.
Have we? I mean,
Yeah.
got a little-
Yes.
Yeah, you so did.
Yeah. I had to think for a second, but yes, we have. Or I have.
Listen, the paladins are pretty straightforward. They are religious zealots who have come here to destroy the meteor, to which I agree. But they have come with an army, and they have made a camp with thousands of men right outside our doorstep. We have no guarantee of what they will do after they destroy the meteor, if they are even able to do so.
Exactly.
But now, let's look at this Amethyst Academy. They have a tower. They had a tower inside Drakkenheim. There is somewhat of an allegiance between the Amethyst Academy and most of this world's cities.
Well, you
They're
know what the
strange people,
Amethyst.
but they're useful.
You know what the Amethyst Academy values over all else?
What do they
Well, you
value
tell me if you
overall
make this
else?
point.
Yeah.
Knowledge. They'll ally with
That is
anyone that
true.
offers knowledge or a share of the knowledge or interesting things that the delirium and the meteor causes. They'll ally with anyone.
Is that really what they told you?
They do
It's
have
what they
their
told
own
us with
plans
their
as well.
actions.
Yes. Their action speaks way differently than their words, as Elodie pointed out.
All right, so, Miss Elodie, let's see.
Yeah, you can just call me Elodie. It's fine. Like,
A habit of courtesy and long. Anyways, Elodie, what do you think would happen if the Amethyst Academy would secure Drakkenheim?
I literally am not, well, I'm not suggesting that they have to be in charge. I'm suggesting that it is plausible for you to work with them.
there's a lot of shared.
Because you're already
Oh.
kind of working with them by
Yeah,
Yes.
you're already like secretly working with them anyway.
The Amethyst Academy has worked with Drakkenheim for years and years before the fall of the meteor. They had an alliance and they worked together in harmony. What changed? The meteor. When that thing came down, that bond has changed. The Amethyst Academy is interested in one thing and one thing only: the powers of these crystals that are coming off of this meteor. And I am of the belief that if they are left unchecked and given the power to do whatever they want within this city, they will make this city into a scientific experiment. They will make this into a zoo.
Yep.
And I will
I
never allow that.
totally will be standing there and nodding in complete agreement with what
Okay,
he's saying.
but we literally just saw like the gnolls, the rat people that your daughter was trying to investigate. They
The gnolls are different than
killed.
the gnolls are just
Yeah,
so you know,
but I'm
yeah.
saying that you described it as to the DM. You just I don't know. You described it as a zoo. You described it as a zoo. So
Oh, it already is kind of a zoo.
it already is a zoo, dude. It's already a fucking zoo. So why would you lose? I mean, yeah, that seems like a reason to lose hope, but it's also like why you're saying that you love Drakkenheim so much, but then the people that are in Drakkenheim, you're not treating them very well.
It is
So
all we
that
care
doesn't
about.
but you
It
sent
is all we
them
care
off
about.
and then they all
But see, you say that and your actions are different.
We do this for the city. We have always done this for the city. And I'm not about to hand off of this city to a bunch of zealous believers that they can instate a new rule and add this to their collection in Illyria. And I'm also not about to hand the city on a silver platter to some crazed magic users that they can exploit this meteor without ever helping to remove it.
No one ever said anything
I'm
about
done.
handing it over. This is about negotiating a truth and putting yourself in a position of power.
Sorry to interject. With everything going on, we have honestly spoken only with low-level people from other factions, and everything we're currently talking about is just ifs and whens.
Yeah.
Sure, we can assume that the Queen of Thieves might be the real queen, but if she isn't, everything we do might lead to problems. It's all just assumptions. I would just say we do what we can, what we get paid for, and
If we can make
yeah,
it into the castle, then we could probably put a lot of this. I mean, if we get in the castle and figure out what happened to the queen, that would answer a lot of questions. It would, if the queen is the real queen, it would answer that. If she's not, well then, we can find out what happened to the real queen.
So you can, so that is actually you're wanting information, which is what the Amethyst Academy is trying to. You say they're so crazy for being obsessed with information. You want
information.
information.
The Amethyst
Information and
Academy
You want
wants
to
power.
learn.
information about the crystals, while the Hooded Lantern wants information about uh, the queen or the royal family.
Yeah, the
That's
It
royalties.
is.
completely different types of information.
Hmm.
Mm,
Yeah.
The
Oh,
Amethyst Academy does not care about the royal family. On the contrary, even. If you know your history, you know why.
well, I
Which
guess.
above table, if you need a
Uh,
quick reminder, I can tell you.
History roll, please.
no, I
Yeah.
just like I'm just like, are there any like?
No, I want to know this. Thank you. Please tell me everything.
Hey!
Okay, yes, please
Tell me
tell
everything. I remember it vividly.
You lived here, dude.
Yep.
You should know.
You notice a moment of compassion from the Lord Commander, seeing that you do want to understand, but you are lacking a couple of bits in your education. And with a fatherly look on his face of "Ah, children, they don't pay enough attention in schools, he starts to elaborate on the history of Drakkenheim. All right. A long time ago.
In a
I
land
wish
far
I could
away.
say in a
Sorry.
country far, far away, but unfortunately in this land. Hundreds of years ago, the kings and queens that ruled these lands were almost always warmongers, people of strength. You did not earn a throne by popular vote, you got it through conquest. The strongest would seize the throne, and in most cases, the strongest indeed would be those who would wield magic. So, in ages past, our kings and queens were always magic users. But you can imagine that at some point, the fact that only magic users could hold such a powerful position led to civil unrest, and in ages past, many a bloody war has been fought over this very topic. Losses were heavy on both sides. People that couldn't use magic were burned alive by the dozens, if not the hundreds. And in turn, kings would be dethroned and done unspeakable things too, for the sake of the fact that they could use magic. And not just kings. Anyone born with a magic spark would be killed right then and there as an infant, or killed later when found out. It was prosecution of the highest form.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
talking about that like it's a new thing or something?
No, this
No,
happened in
that
ages
is
past, but please let me finish.
yeah, it happened to me. I
Unfortunately, it still happens, but it shouldn't. For about 130 years ago, an agreement was sought between those who could wield magic and those who can't. And it led to a code that is still upheld today. This code encompasses a lot of different agreements that has made sure that those who can use magic and those who cannot can live together in harmony, or at least in relative harmony. I will not give you a complete breakdown of all it means, but at the very least, what you should know. is that no one who wields magic can hold a position of power such as a throne or a likewise position, meaning no baron, no count, no king can be one that uses magic. If the king would get a prince and his son, indeed, the prince would wield magic, he loses his claim to the throne automatically.
Seems kind of
So you're
racist.
saying, so as Nabarl eats his completely natural, all organic berries, so you're saying the real royalty would not wield magic.
The real royalty is no magic user. The royal family does have a couple of magic users in it, and they have been excluded from the chance to ascension to the throne. They're still part of the royal family. I mean, we do not kill them, but they are no longer in line for succession. Secondly, those who are born with the magic spark will be identified and sent off to magic school in the form of the Amethyst Academy, which was built right then and there 130 years ago.
A lot of good
Those
that did.
children, the intention was to teach these youngsters to hone their skills so that they could be used practically rather than dangerously, and give them the understanding that they are different but no different. This was what the Amethyst Academy was supposedly to be used for. And as
Yet they
such,
never
over the last
did.
100 and well, I hope that gives you some insight into why I do not like the Amethyst Academy either. They are not soldiers like us, and they do not understand honor and morality as we do. We fight for something good, they fight for a greed.
You literally just said that the children are being trained to work with you, and yet you said,
Not,
like, the
not with
people
me.
who are, yes, with you, a person.
Let me reword this as I
No,
want
I'm
to make
not.
sure. Let me reword this as I
I'm
want to
not
make sure that
wrong.
you understand me. You are not.
I do
You are not.
understand you, and I think you're wrong. Like,
I hope you understand if I reword this. I have no problem whatsoever with magic users. As a matter of fact, I hold them in very high regard. They are not only useful, but they are normal beings as all we all are. They just have a different skill set. But that is on the individual level. At the institute level, I have a hatred for the Amethyst Academy, for what it has become and for what it is being used for. That is troublesome, not the individuals that are being subjugated to it.
I dare
okay.
say it's not everyone within the Amethyst Academy, Lord Commander, but I am inclined to agree with you.
The many versus the few. I understand, but it doesn't change my view.
Cool.
So this is my conundrum. We try to retake the city, and we have multiple factions that are trying to do the same for their own merits. We alone have the best claim to the city, as it is ours. It is yours if you have lived here. And as such, I do have to ask, if you ever want to consider joining something bigger than what you are right now, we could use people like you in our army. You would have been wonderful soldiers to
No.
begin with, and with your expertise, I'm pretty sure that you can be given positions of relative power within our ranks already.
Well, as leader of my own expeditionary force and ranger division, I do think there is benefit. And also, totally, there's nothing to shove off. You find there is benefit to having proper knowledge, proper fortifications, and proper military stature. And I think any move forward would involve all three or all four. I don't know what I said. But now,
Those are wise words.
what's the most? So it sounds like the most pressing issue, though, is identifying a unifying spot, and you believe it's the proper royalty.
That is for now the one thing that we are aiming for. However, it is unfortunately not that simple. You see, we along the way run into several issues, and those issues seem to be piling up. Right now, we have a pressing issue with the Norse, the Garmia that you have so graciously told us about. I regret to inform you that we already knew of this, but it is good to know that they are also moving back and forth to this gate. We didn't know of this wall band of, you said, about 40 of them, but it comes to no surprise. I what I'm about to tell you is partially classified and should not leave this area. I would like to stress that this information is for yours only right now, and if I would learn that this information has been handed to any of the other factions haphazardly, it will have a severe effect on our relation. I hope you understand. The Garmir are a special breed of creatures that have only popped up since the meteor has arrived. And they have been breeding like crazy. Within the inner city, we believe there are several hundreds of these creatures, if not more. They're not just simple beasts, they possess some intelligence to such a degree that they actually hold a gate of their own. The road that you have seen is the road towards their gate. This gate is currently held by the Garmir and all assorted creatures that they have working for them. There are, unfortunately, probably over 1,000 creatures near the gate.
Oh shit!
There's
And you say they have
they're
creatures working
coordinated
for them
enough to hold a gate.
and get other stuff to work for them.
There's more. This gate is close to another important, vitally important part of the city. Just beyond this gate lies the Cathedral of St. Vitruvio, the bastion of our faith and more.
It's very holy.
There's something else about this place as well, which unfortunately I cannot tell you just yet. But the cathedral is in their hands as well. This army of almost 1,000 Garmia stretches all the way to the cathedral, and that too they hold at the moment.
How recently have they taken over the cathedral?
No longer than half a year.
Okay. So the Cathedral of St. Vitruvio has been taken over by gnolls for over 6 months.
Yes.
Interesting. It is above board. We went there, didn't we?
The cathedral? No.
No, we went
We
to
went
the.
to a
the
church.
Soka. That's why I was like, if he was like, oh, what? He's got some bad
Oh.
info then. Okay. All right.
No, the cathedral is on the inner city. You've only seen the spires.
Okay.
The cathedral holds a very important role for multiple reasons. It is, if we would recapture the cathedral, it is well, it would do a lot of things. First off, we reclaim the seat of power for our religiously inclined. The cathedral being the focal point for our land, for our city. But there are other things that are kept safe in the catacombs of the cathedral, which are of pivotal importance to the prolongation of Drakkenheim. We only hope that the Garmir are not smart enough to uncover that, and I'm pretty sure that they aren't. But I do not want to wait around until they do find whatever is beneath that. So it is important that we take this cathedral back. But with the army that I have right now, it is completely impossible. So I have a conundrum with that as well. And I am indeed considering working together with, well, whomever I can find. I am open to persuasion in talking with one of the other factions to at least hold a truce for a mission to try and retake the gate and then advance to the cathedral and take that.
Okay.
The thing is, we can't just march on the castle. If we do, this army of 1,000 might rush on our garrison. And then we lose the gate and the garrison while we try to get to the castle and get caught in the middle. There's other places as well that we would like to reclaim. But as soon as we at least get a foothold in the city, then we can start making plans to advance on the castle. It is too far away right now, and we don't have the means, even with the potions that we have recently stumbled upon. We do not have the means to supply an entire army to march through this mist. We need to have other ways to get there.
Guess we got our work cut out for us then. I think LD. That's what you're trying to get us to work with people, aren't you?
Yeah.
I was about to
Okay.
say,
Yeah.
I see opportunities to align some of these factions rather than splitting them against each other.
So I think that's
Yep. That is exactly what I'm trying to say.
it took us
And
half an hour to get there, but we got there.
well, I've been saying it the whole time. I don't know
Yeah.
why it's coming off as not a
It's naturally because you're a rogue.
Just
it's
above the
actually
table.
it's because I'm a rogue, right?
Yeah,
It's
that's why.
because I am different. That's
Just
what it is.
What's up?
You built different.
Didn't the queen just say to us that she wanted us basically to backstab the hooded lantern because
Oh,
she
she did.
doesn't like them?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
She
did.
doesn't.
So
But that doesn't mean she does. She doesn't. Well, she didn't have any. Like, didn't make an indication that they were potentially up for actually partnering with her or
No,
working
Ready
with
to
her.
serve, my lord.
She wanted to backstab because they don't recognize her as the proper queen, which
Yes.
we
Yeah.
all
Granny
confirmed
just
they don't. So
subscribed.
that's what her issue is. But
and you won't change that, so but okay. Sorry.
yeah, I
I
think
mean,
we can
Yeah,
change it.
yeah.
There's
It doesn't
there's
make there is a thing about this that doesn't make sense to you guys, right? Like that is part of it.
It
Well,
No,
makes
like
all sense if personally feel like, but yeah.
yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Like it makes a lot of sense from their perspective. But what British are saying is like it doesn't make sense why you just don't work together. But they got there's just like most things. Uh, sometimes people just don't want to work together. That's just just how it is. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, because logically you're
So
right. It just makes sense for them to say, okay, put bygones aside. Let's all just figure it out. But when they're looking at it, I guess from the next layer. So you're looking at so right now, work together now. You can control the city. But then after that, they're going to be infighting kind of
I'm
together. And
I'm
that's
saying that right now, like the view that right now we control the city is inherently wrong.
they don't.
I mean, it's not wrong as in like bad wrong. It's wrong as in like it's not the truth.
yeah, no, the hooded
That-
lanterns definitely don't control anything except for a fucking gate.
But
No, but
that's the party line. They have to maintain the illusion that they're the proper authority. They're the ones in control. There's the ones that it's basically you saying the truth
Yeah.
until saying what you want to be true until it becomes true, and so they have to maintain that they are the authority, so that all their actions appear as though they're the right ones.
the
It's
queen
just
is
like
doing the same thing.
the
Yeah.
Queen's
She
doing the
has
same thing.
she has
Yeah.
some pleasure district outside of the city where some people are just sitting around, but they don't even have potions to get inside the city, at least
Yeah.
for a long time. So
None of them actually
Yeah.
control cities. They're all wrong, but they have to pretend they're right.
Yeah, which is what I said.
but
But he's not going to admit that.
And it's basically an inherent conflict because they cannot align. At least those two parties, I can't see how they can align in the long term. Because unless she is the rightful queen, which we really have no reason to believe.
She might be, but she probably isn't. Let's
if
be
they
real.
work together, the Hooded
Mm.
Lantern captures the castle and they actually find the royal family. The queen would try with all her might to kill the royal family to take the
Yes.
city.
But then
And that's you can't share information and stuff like that between those two factions, and if
Yeah.
that's the case.
So
I mean, I still think it's worth a try.
I think it is too, but keep in mind we came here to get that flower, so and we've been
Yeah.
we've been talking about this political intrigue for an hour.
Hey, this is backstory and it's funny. Okay?
Yep.
It's interesting.
Not only that, but like Drakkenheim is just part political intrigue. That's just
It doesn't have to be pew pew lasers every time, you know?
Well, I guess on those lines, Lord Commander, it sounds like you need I guess some sort of
Don't you dare say plan D.
man.
I'll say intermediary, maybe negotiate at least a temporary alliance to accomplish mutual goals. That's what it seems like to me.
I am open to that because we simply will not be able to do it with the amount that I have right now. There's a lot of ifs and buts, and they need to be discussed. But
Sounds like we've got our work cut out for us.
Just so happens
keep
that
you-
we get around quite a lot with all the factions, apparently. Well,
We will
not the bad ones.
we'll keep you apprised on any developments.
Thank you. One more question from my side. It was nice meeting you, and again, thank you for saving my daughter. You have business inside the city right now?
Yes.
May I inquire as to what the nature is of this business?
We're procuring some herbs, a special plant apparently that grows inside.
It may not. It's a rumor. It may not be true, but you have to at least
We get
look.
paid enough. So
Yeah.
Surviving around Drakkenheim is difficult enough.
Is
So
it
By who? It's like you
As
say by
you-
who?
as I told Petra,
Yes.
there's a certain character who rolled into Emberwood not too long ago, claiming to be able to procure some kind of paste ailment or something that will prohibit any kind of mutations going deeper into the city.
Not sure if
Okay.
it's for real, but he pays well enough, so we're gonna check it out.
And you say this is a person that just strolled into Amboot Village but seems to have intricate knowledge of the inside of the city.
Yeah, he claimed to be a hermit living in the area or have lived in the area.
Hmm.
You don't know any
Okay.
people who are good with potions around here, do you?
We have one supplier.
Maybe we're talking about the same person then.
Well, the person that I know doesn't live in Amberwood Village.
Oh,
This one doesn't either, but
Oh, so you were lying.
no,
he
he came through.
we just said you came to Emberwood Village.
What would you do? Would you kill us if we said that it was the queen who sent us? Like
It wasn't the queen though. Like this is above board. It wasn't
Yeah.
even the queen though. Like you don't. Why would you say that?
That totally takes
the
a
queen
couple of
literally sent us to do that.
No?
No.
the
What?
queen doesn't send
That
us.
has absolutely nothing to do with the queen right now.
Yeah.
Oscar sent us. We're talking about Oscar. That's why I was like, so I'm going the long.
Yeah,
the
and the
long-
queen was like, "Go help this
But-
man, Oscar.
No, the
get-
queen-
go
Oscar-
get the thing."
Oscar is
Oscar
the one who-
wanted us to get the thing. The queen just
No.
said, "Oh, you're doing that? Yeah, do that, and then grab Oscar for us."
And Nabarlan, so this is Nabarlan's mindset is, Atoli's already met this guy in Immerwood Village. Nabarlan's going to say that it's somebody who works for Oscar. So if we called on it, it's like, oh, it's the same guy. That's Nabarlan's logic is that if he calls us on some story, we'll say he just worked for Oscar, and then that's the story. But
We're
it was
we're,
definitely
bull,
Oscar.
we're bullshitting on the spot here.
Yeah, there's a little bit of bullshit, but there is a weasel way out of it to make sure that we're not like being totally dishonest here.
Well, you're not working for me, so I have no means of holding you back. And if you're working for one of the other factions, I see no reason why, as long as you're not actively disintegrating or disturbing whatever we are trying to do. To hold
With
you
all
back.
due
I don't think I have
respect,
any-
Lord Commander, we are trying to stay as neutral as possible in all of this for our own survival as well.
I understand and I appreciate that. Even if you aren't, as long as it doesn't cross the reason for our existence and our plans for the near future, then I don't see a reason why you cannot work with any of the other factions. As a matter of fact, if you learn anything interesting from them and you would wish to share that with me, it would be very appreciated, of course.
Well, as I just mentioned, we are looking for a way to traverse the inner city more, or without fear of growing tentacles.
Well, apparently there is a certain potion for that, but those are in very short supply, and I believe the Hooded Lanterns buys the entire supply of our supplier.
You guys
But if
are the
there's an
Hooded
ad-
Lanterns, aren't you?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Last time I checked, we are, yes, ma'am.
So, okay, all right, that's fine.
He's
He looks over at his green cloak. Yes, I believe so.
So,
He's just
so
he's
you
just he's
said-
just talking about them in the third person. That's what he
Yeah.
did.
it's like saying that it's like the state of Georgia buys stuff.
AKA Nabarlan
Okay.
buy stuff.
Yeah.
If there is a secondary or tertiary way to combat the effects of the haze, then by all means, I would support you in exploring this option further. It would benefit all of us. I will not hold you any longer. I wish you good luck. Please be very safe. The inner city can be unforgiving. If you do require a safe space, you can come back to the garrison, of course. You are welcome here.
We
It's
your
it was nice meeting
passwords changes regularly. How are we supposed to find the current ongoing password in case we do require aid?
Allow me, he says, and he reaches into a pocket that he has, and he gives the 5 of you a very small badge. The badge itself is like no bigger than a centimeter or half an inch for all of you. Well, not all of you, but some of you. Half an inch. And it looks like a lantern that at the top has a dragon's claw over it, signifying the hooded lanterns. He gives one to each of you and he says, even when the password has changed, we do have operatives running in the city that don't hear about the latest password change when they are on multi-day deployments. This badge will still get you in and will signify that you have been on official order of the hooded lanterns. It should get you into the garrison.
Much
case.
appreciated, Lord Commander.
Good.
It's been a lovely chat. We'll let you go. We know you're very busy.
Wonderful. Good luck. Please do not die. We already have so many adversaries. I wouldn't want to add 5 more to them. Best of luck, he says, and he turns around and he walks back into the tower.
That's always going to fixate the small patch on the inside of like several layers of his robes. So it's like it's well hidden, but at the same time can be pulled out at a moment's notice.
Sure.
I'll put that somewhere secret, somewhere safe.
Don't you swallow it, I swear to God.
I wanted to show my badge and I just wanted to show it and I can't. That was plan A. But
Okay, well, we got some stuff to do, so sure it was lovely catching up. Glad you're okay. And,
yeah, I'm glad that the Lord Commander has taken a liking to you, I think.
It's just like we took a liking to you.
Yep. So best of luck. Hopefully we will see you again. Get the
All right.
fuck out of here.
Our plate just got a lot bigger.
As you exit the garrison and make ready to get into the inner city, I'm going to grab the city map for you again and move you to the garrison area, which is over there.
He's gonna reveal another one.
Yay! And boop, there we are.
Achievement
You
earned.
now have achievement get. You now have to make a little trek. As a matter of fact, you're in there. There we go. That makes more sense. You have a little trek to make towards the Queen's Park Garden, if that is where you indeed want to go. Before we do, though, can we take a 5-minute break for some drink or what else? Because I'm getting parched from all the talking.
Sure.
Yep.
Wonderful. I'll see you in a bit.
Yep.
a true adventure yet with this group. So, like, it could be a quick adventure because like the group's changed a little bit. So, Fritz is the
Oh, so
linchpin.
you're saying Felix was the problem? Okay.
That's indirectly what he's saying. Yeah, that's kind of rude, Nebarland.
I mean, Felix isn't here anymore, so
Oh God, why would you go against him? And now I back you up, and then you just turn around and was like, yeah, whatever. Fucking turncoat, man.
Well, I didn't say it was a quick adventure because sometimes you want to have a fun little jaunt. So that's why I said like Felix was really about having those fun, adventurous jaunts. That's what that was. Now,
He was
quick
also
adventure is a
he was
different
also
story.
about having a good drink.
He was also about a good drink, and he died doing what he loves over and over again.
I mean, he's having the greatest time of his life.
Over
Over
and
and
over
over
again.
again. Yes. It's the best day of your life so far.
So far, again and again and again. I do actually think about like what that would be like. You go in there and you're experiencing that over and over and over again. But like it's a good time up until like the last like minute, and then it's not. Like that's just. But then also you don't. Most of them don't realize that what's happening.
Yeah, it's basically just I do that. So
Yeah.
it's a very weird form of purgatory.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. Just over and over again, man. You don't even know it. Don't even know it.
I'm not okay with it.
Okay. So.
I feel like we got a lot of information out of the Lord Commander there.
Yeah, that really elaborated on the kind of the political situation in Drakkenheim.
Not only that, but like how weakened the Hooded Lantern actually is.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks that they're situated within, because nobody actually knows how many numbers they have. Not even the Queen knows how many numbers they have. She just knows that they have a fortification within the city. Everybody thinks that they're actually well off right now. And they're behaving like they're well off right now. But they're not.
I don't think they're behaving like they're well off for others. They only know the gate, which as I understand, no other can jump out, so they're actually like the first into the city right now.
Those can do it. The box of scraps.
Well, some thousands don't know.
Hmm.
The box of scraps in a cave.
And then the lens probably still like a fun people because they're rotating the outcome completely. So
Yeah. I think they use that. Like I think like Gio was saying, you can use that to advantage where because they're rotating, because they have a gate, like you never really know how many they have. But until they open the gate, they must have a good force, and they're always in and out. So it gives them the illusion of having some kind of well-off presence.
they got the biggest presence in Drakkenheim itself.
That's true. Well, I mean, Queensmen have a pretty sizable presence technically in Drakkenheim.
And also Drakkenheim.
Oh, that's right. They're not in the. I was in the sewers, but the sewers that we were in, I guess, Barry, that was still outside the walls, wasn't it?
You would assume that it was right underneath the walls or right outside of it, but it could have been underneath the walls. As a matter of fact, a couple of sessions back, you ventured through a hallway that was connected to the Black Ivory and connected to part of the sewer that was definitely inside the city.
Yeah. I initially thought that's what we were about to bump into, but now that I look at the map, that'd be insane. That's because the river's separating it. Well, unless they go way under, I don't know. I don't know how the sewer works.
I'm also like Fritz as a character. I don't think he's quite comfortable making some such firm alliances with any faction yet. I think he's more in a information gathering
Yeah,
stage
I mean,
for now.
And
Luckily,
not
we all
revealing
are.
everything.
we're
Yeah,
not really aligned with anyone. Like, if anything, we're mostly aligned with the Queensmen currently. But I mean, as I just meant, as Satoli just mentioned as well, like we are trying to stay neutral so that we can pass everywhere currently.
yeah. At some point, though, I gotta feel we'll have to.
Oh yeah, no, there's definitely going to be a point where we have to choose an allegiance.
Like, there's no going back. I mean, we kind of did already with the scepter, but we're doing it in such a way where we can remove ourselves from the situation.
Yeah, we kind of ducked under
Yeah.
that one a little bit.
There's going to be a point in which we can. Just waiting on Isabel, waiting for Elodie to come back. She's not going to want to miss the flowers.
Just look at the
I'm-
pretty flowers.
Don't do that.
Barry, I'm assuming this is going to be. We're going there. And this is what I was telling Tim here. Is like it's going to be a well-maintained municipal park. We're going to go in there, see the flowers right there in the flower beds, and then we're going to pluck them, walk out, no problem.
5-minute
Easy
adventure
peasy.
in and out.
That's how it
minutes,
should
I mean,
be.
They're not in the
15
flower bed because it's isn't it like water lilies or
Oh,
something?
that's right. It'll be in the fountain. So it'll be in the fountain. Easy peasy. Go there, scoop some up. Be just fine.
Yeah.
Uh,
Nothing can go
Yeah.
wrong here.
Nothing's gonna go wrong. Everything's gonna be okay.
Hi,
All right.
guys.
Hey,
Yeah.
All right, were you
we were just discussing how easy this is gonna be. Just gonna walk in. Everything's gonna be fine. That's what we were talking about.
Just establishing some hubris.
Yeah, just enough hubris so everything goes horribly wrong. I mean, right. Everything goes fantastically right.
You rolled a
I
D.
kinda
You
like
rolled a
horribly
natural.
right.
You rolled a natural one in your speech right there, dude.
Yeah. The Brolin rolls to persuade things are gonna be okay. He rolls a 1. Okay.
Ah, everything is back to normal.
All right.
I'm just, it's okay.
What?
You're not you're not in charge of my emotional stuff. Fine. You're good.
You okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah.
So as you move away from the garrison, and let's just say you take one street closer to where Queen's Park Garden is, you'll notice two things. As you come out of the street, there is a very large tower that is like looming over this area of the city. It is this tower in particular. It is a rather large building, and from the ground level where you are right now, you can very clearly see its massive structure and its interesting choice of material that it's built from, because it looks like it's completely made of obsidian or something like that. More interestingly, though, is that about halfway this tower, there is a rend right through this tower, almost as if something as big as, say, a meteor has rushed right through the tower. And instead of having the top portion of this tower topple off, as you would assume would happen, it instead is floating above the bottom part of the tower in sheer defiance, some debris still sort of floating in midair around it, as if time has stopped over there. It indeed looks very magical, and I think anyone that has lived in Drakkenheim, and especially those that have a better connection to know immediately which tower this is. This is the inscrutable tower, the bastion of the Amethyst Academy within Drakkenheim. This is not a school or whatever. This is just a tower of the academy, and it holds a lot of different things. Sure, people studied there, but there was more to it.
Is this the one that sticks out of out of the sky? So, first.
Yeah, so it's casting a very big shadow over Queen's Park Garden, as you might see on the map.
Oh yeah.
Also, I think
Yeah.
I mentioned that at some point that this shadow still shows the tower intact.
Yeah, it should actually have like a cleave in between, right?
I don't know. I think this is kind of more exciting. The shadow is still there, but the tower is only half.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It was actually that's designed as like with intent.
Oh, okay. Yeah, great.
Yeah, of course. Other than that, right across the road and a little ways forward, you notice another thing on the road itself. Nearing the Queen's Park Garden, there is what seems to be a pocket of very thick mist. It is visible. The haze itself that you travel through is not really visible when you're inside of it. Like when you're traveling towards Drakkenheim, you'll see this purple mist hanging around the city. But when you're inside of it, you sort of get used to this sort of purplish hue on everything. But this looks different. This is actually a thick mist that you can see that is purple in color. It seems to be blocking the way between you and the Queen's Park. But as you might remember, Oscar did tell that that mist should not be at the Queen's Park Garden itself. If he spoke truth, then that means that you will only have to traverse this for about 1 block.
Well,
So is it we just see one street that is blocked by this mist, or is
If
it
you,
like
it's basically a couple of blocks, so multiple streets.
but we could still
So-
try to circumnavigate it and approach, I don't know, the garden from the south or something.
so
You
basically
could,
this.
but that means that you
this-
have to go further into the city, and that's quite a distance.
So basically everything that I'm highlighting, that's clouded.
Yeah.
Okay. So we would have to go either around like that or around like this. Go around the cloud. Or we just walk through the cloud and
Hope we don't sprout
this.
tentacles.
yeah. Um
I vote going around currently.
Same.
let's go up. Yeah, let's go around to the north if we're gonna go, because
I'm not sure if that's a good idea.
Yeah,
because that's Spider Cave.
yeah, I prefer going
Yeah.
south instead of going near the spiders.
okay.
Because there's also a pocket up near the spiders, as far as I remember,
Yeah.
of thick
Okay.
thick mist.
So we're gonna go south and very slow. Nabarlin's gonna all this talk of clouds and mist and toxic stuff. He's gonna snap this away too, by the way, just so
Sure.
she doesn't inhale anything wrong. So we're gonna head this way.
Yep.
Part of this is once again, Atoli, you are up front, being our local guide.
Elodie is second with her high perception.
And then, so we're gonna head to this road, or we go this has there's a cloud on this road, right?
Yeah, like it's this entire block basically is just covered
So-
in a thick patch of mist.
We have to go to this road right here.
Wonderful.
Great.
As you move this way, you will actually encounter something else, which I am going to reveal in your map because the two numbers over there will now be visible.
Woo.
Number 15 and also number 12 are now very easily visible. As you move towards this side of the city,
Number 12 is
you
not
will see
noticed.
that there is a rather large square coming up. This is the market square. This is where the weekly market was held on the inside of the city. And from the road that you are right now, looking onto the square, you can actually see that part of the market is still there, probably left as it was 15 years ago as the meteor came down on a market day. Imagine that. A lot of stalls are still there, barely untouched. Some have been broken, some have been burned down. Most of the produce and whatnot seems to have been stolen, as nothing rots within the city. At the end of the market street, there is a rather large tower. And indeed, this seems to be the cosmological clock tower that you have heard about before. The road towards the clock tower does not seem to be covered in any thick haze, just the normal haze that you have seen. Looking around the corner towards Queen Park's garden, this road seems to also not be obscured by mist. And at the end of the street, you do see the brick wall of the garden. So you have a choice to make here. Let's
If I'm
start with
gonna
that.
so the tower is actually where Nesfip, your mentor, is supposed to be, correct?
Yeah.
Ah,
So maybe we should pass by there.
So tower first or garden first?
let's
I'd say,
go. Just
yeah, I'd say garden first.
there's-
Honestly,
I would say, like, well, yeah, because I'm just thinking the queen said they had issues. Didn't she say they had issues trying to take the tower, or was it she just
yeah,
didn't have somebody over? Yeah, so
we know
we
for
know we're
certain. We
gonna
know
run
for
in-
certain that there might be trouble at the. For certain, might. We know for certain that there is potentially trouble at the tower, but we don't know
But
what's at the
also,
park.
is
Do
the
you want to scope it
trouble
out? Or?
is the trouble Nespit's mentor though? If he's really good, he could be the trouble. And if
If
that's the
he's
case,
even there.
yeah, I know. But like, if he's, it is a if. I know.
I mean, he is there. He told so in the message that he would
That's
be at the
true.
clock
Yeah.
tower.
Yes,
If
but
he's still
we don't
alive.
know the age of the message.
I
We could.
probably not that old, but yeah.
I mean, we could go down there and just and see what the tower looks like, and not actually go in and see if there's roaming uh monsters. I guess just like to look and see if there's anything meandering outside the tower.
But still,
can
what should we do
also-
first?
Uh, I just have a hunch that if we go, considering, I just got a hunch. If we go to Queens Park, I think we're going to find some horrible stuff. I just cannot imagine. This is actually Chris. Like just thinking about the gameplay. Can I imagine it's going to be an easy jaunt in and out? So,
You think the tower is gonna be?
no, but I think that peeking at the tower, seeing what's there, might be.
There's one thing that concerns me about going to the tower, and that's the open space. There's a lot
That's
of
also-
open space right there.
The boss arena, you mean?
There's a lot of open space.
That also concerns me, but
I mean, we can quickly go to Queen's Garden, grab the flower. There won't be any issues, and then on the way back, look at the tower.
Yep, no, I'm down with that. I'm down with that.
I'll defer. I'll defer this to Nesbit because it's your dude. So if you want to, I'll defer my vote to Nesbit because it's his.
Nesbit's gonna say, let's go to the tower.
Okay, well then I vote for the tower then.
Cool. Let's do that.
All
I
right.
don't want to push anyone, but there goes.
So, before you do, whoever's leading the pack, which I believe is still Tony,
Yeah, he's gonna do it a little bit begrudgingly though.
I would like you to make a survival check with disadvantage, please.
There it
Because you're in the
is.
inside of the city.
Mm, 14, not too shabby.
Okay.
Could be a lot worse.
One more question in addition to that. As you're moving towards the tower, how do you approach?
So as we are now within the city itself, there's a lot like more buildings that are tightly more compact. I imagine
Absolutely. Yeah, imagine just any major metropolis. Like, that's really what it looks like.
there's what appears to be tiny back alleys every now and again.
Yes.
Right. Instead of going to anywhere close to an open road or a sidewalk or anything like that, I totally would be moving past every single the tiniest of back alleys he could find. Whereas some of them would probably not be easy to traverse by the larger people in the company, but given his small size,
So
he's
they're-
used to this kind of traversing.
So we're going this way, not this
We're
way.
zigzagging between the top side, the northern side of this road here, between all the small buildings.
Okay. Avoiding the open space.
Yes. This is
Yeah.
how Atolius survived Drakkenheim before, by going in places where a normal adult, like a larger adult, would probably have a little bit harder time following.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mhm.
So let's do it.
So you
I'm
move up
sorry,
about a.
guys. Is this?
What?
Go on.
Hmm, doesn't. That's whatever. Okay.
What's up?
Oh, go
What?
ahead. No,
What's on your mind? Talk. Speak.
yes, speak up.
If you think it, we need to know.
Um, I think that that is a good idea, and I just would like to be believed.
And he'll
Well,
defer
we
it
all
to you
believe you.
easily, happily.
Yeah, we all think it's a good idea. So yeah, we believe you.
No, like
Okay.
if she wants to leave,
Awesome.
if she wants to leave, like at this point, Atoli's not on board with the actual plan. So taking lead or somebody else wanting to take lead.
No. I didn't say. I didn't say leave. I said believe.
Oh
Yeah,
damn!
we all agree that's a good idea.
Yes, we're all agreeing. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
That's
So you give
good.
each other a group hug, and
Yeah.
for dramatic effect and positivity, you move up about a block. And after
Mhm.
that block, you can clearly see the market square itself and the tower. So you have sort of like a goal. You are, let's say that you are well enough hidden, unless something in the alleyway comes up to you. You got a good enough spot right now. Do you decide to move up to the tower? Would you like to take a moment to look at the area to see if you notice anything? What's your approach?
Well, so I think the vote was to at least check and see what's going on at the tower, maybe not to try and go in. So this is an exploratory thing to
Okay.
to see if there's, because we heard there's issues getting in the tower, so to see if those issues are on the street around the tower.
I will allow, out of your group, 2 people to make a perception check. You can vote amongst yourself. Who can that be?
So
I'm only like a +5 perception, so I'm probably out with this one.
well, I have +5 perception. LD, what's yours looking
Plus
like?
10 or some shit.
Isn't it like high?
Nope, it's also +5.
Oh.
Isn't that
Oh,
extremely crazy?
that
That we
is
all
I
kind
have
of
mean,
the
nuts.
wait
same
until you go up another
perception?
couple of levels. Like with reliable talent and whatnot, you're like instantly like, I have a minimum of 2,500.
So, Fritz, what's your how do your Fritz eyes see?
I usually see my hand in front of my face.
Okay, I guess next pip.
I'm just
You're
gonna make a
okay.
choice. Okay.
Okay, yeah, here we go.
Um,
And here's mine.
All
Okay.
right. 13 and a 17 combined, that is a 30. So there's a 15 average. You take a couple of minutes to scout out the area to see if you see or hear any signs of life. There will be the odd sound in your vicinity. Not close, but you will hear some sounds. These are not sounds that you've heard before. They're strange. They're kind of in between a yell and a yelp. And they're coming from multiple directions. They also like they're different sounds, but they're all like animalistic. Surely whatever is making those sounds are creatures that you have never seen before, probably. This sounds
But we've
strange.
heard them, haven't we?
No, these sounds you
They're,
have not.
they're
Oh,
not
okay.
gnolls then.
No,
Okay.
no. This
Well,
sounds honestly by the vocal reach and whatnot. This sounds either like most probably bigger than that. Like just like you
Hmm.
can like you, if you hear a whale, you can hear, oh, that's a large creature. Like that's the kind of vibe you're getting. Like, oh, there's a large creature.
You're not making it better.
well, next
Secondly,
tip we okay, go ahead. I guess. So secondly,
yeah. So and that is just general vicinity, not coming from the tower, just general vicinity of the city. Secondly, as you take a couple of minutes to look to the tower, all of a sudden, the both of you notice something. There is activity around the tower, but not on the ground level. High up near the belfry, you notice that there are birds flying in and out of the tower.
No.
And it takes you but mere moments to realize that those aren't birds.
Oh.
Those are harpies.
Oh.
Fucking great.
There's a whole bunch of them, as a matter of fact. In those couple of minutes that you looked, you must have seen at least 5 or 6 flying in and out. Hopefully the same one constantly that is just like trying to like fly around a lot. If not, those were 5 of them. That's all you get for now.
Well, Nespip, I think we saw what some of the issue is here.
I mean, those are just a couple of harpies.
Yep.
It's not that bad.
My grandfather told me a story about he met harpies and fell madly in love with one, and she broke his heart. They can
I believe I heard this story.
they are not to be trifled with. Well,
We could sneak around in the between the houses until we get to the tower. It seems like the doors reach until the tower. We don't need to run across the open field.
Yeah. And once we're inside, the harpies are less of a problem.
that's true.
The harpies live inside the
That's-
tower.
Yes,
a close
but there's
quarters.
no open air.
Yeah, they can't fly away.
So I'm
Unless we
still-
get the
Yeah,
top of the tower. This is just like some we get the top of the tower. They do their song. We all fail our checks, and they entice us to walk off the top of the tower. And then we're screwed. So,
You just gave
Let's not-
the DM a great idea. I saw the smile.
I'm sure. But let's not go to the top of the tower. Then how about that?
but it's kind of what we have to go.
I know. Well, I guess
Atoli's
So,
definitely not happy about the current situation.
yeah. Well, I tell you this, Nebarlin only voted to come check it out. Our mission is to go to the garden. So we've checked it out. My vote's for the garden then.
Fritz has no strong
But
opinions on this.
Isn't Nespip's mentor possibly in the tower?
He is, but as I was saying, Nebarlin-
Possibly.
and that's why I gave him the
You
option to go
don't-
check it out.
You don't want to risk a little bit to get in there?
Well, we got a risk to go into the garden, and that's what we're actually here for now. And if he's
Okay.
survived this long in the
All right.
tower, that's the logic here. So
Wait, okay, hold on. Because follow-up question then, what does the harpies seem to be doing? Are they agitated or are they nesting? Are they what are they doing?
Well, from what you can see, one of the 5 flew in with what seems to be a corpse or a body of something. And you see a couple of others that are just flying out and then in again. They're either patrolling, getting food, something like that. So just for harpies, their daily life.
Right,
I'm
so
gonna
it seems
tell
that they are nesting there, at least.
That would be a fair assumption.
If they're flying in with a corpse, they're flying out and coming back in again, stretching their wings or whatever you have going for a short flight. They're nesting there, which means there's a possibility if Nespip's mentor is there, he's either in a very shitty position or starved to death at the top of the tower, or somehow
Yeah, I
managed to
guess-
avoid the harpies as well completely. Because if they're not
Well, if he's a-
agitated, then nobody's there.
he could be in the lower part of the tower and not go up. But I see what you mean. That if this is a recent thing,
But if he's in the lower part of the tower, then he'd be unable to rest and mutate.
oh, you're right.
It's only the top of the tower that's free of the haze.
Well, okay.
And do note
Allegedly.
the
Allegedly.
the belfry.
Yeah,
that-
sorry, allegedly.
So the belfry that they're currently flying into is like on the verge of the haze, but there is still part of the tower that is sticking up above that. You would assess, looking at the size of the tower, that there might be 1, even 2 levels above that.
Or maybe so maybe he's on the top of it and he is starving, yeah. Like he could be above them in that part where he's like sleeping and stuff, but he can't go down to get food or anything. Well, so I guess I guess you've convinced Namarlin that that's probably, if we're here trying to also help Nessa's mentor, which so I guess you, in order to finalize this convention of Nabarlin at least, what is this just like a personal thing? You want to make sure he's okay and get him out, or is this like, does he have something for you, or
I thought he was
No,
dead.
I
So meeting him would be really, really good. And you mentioning that he might be starving up there? I
Oh, I
really wanna
understand that.
go
Yep.
check that out.
Yep. No,
Okay,
I
all right,
totally completely
all right,
understands
just
that. But he also realistic about the situation that this is possibly like we've seen a couple of harpies, but if they're nesting up there, we don't know how many there are.
yeah.
Like this is
Well,
potentially like
we are
really
like
scary.
level 5. We could probably take a couple of harpies,
Yeah, I mean, it's like we
right?
could
Like we're
harpies we might be able
okay.
to
We
handle.
got some.
Let's
We got
I
some
think
skills. We're not helpless.
if he
It's
is
not like
alive,
there's nothing in the gardens.
I know. Yeah,
It's not like that's an option. That couldn't be an
Right.
option, right?
it's a fight either way,
don't know.
and it's a fight either way, and those lilies aren't going to go anywhere. If they're there, those will be fine. But his mentor might starve. So, yep. If we're gonna go, let's go.
If
Okay.
I
Only
end up
thing I would
if I end up dying, I'm blaming all of you.
the only thing I would add above table is going to fetch the lily. We get a chance to have free passage in the interior of the city, basically, or at least with the potion. And we wouldn't immediately clear the tower so that other factions could move there. As Nespip, nope, straight to there.
Well, and
That's
that's also what Nabarlin said our mission is. But you made a compelling argument for Nabarlin because the player, I'm rather with you. We go to the thing. But Nabarlin, you made a compelling argument to try and get in there,
That's all I
and
needed to know.
it's just
especially
a
if it
couple of
makes
harpies.
yeah, well, and especially if it makes sure that you're because like if it, so Nabarlin's background is of course military leadership, so he's making sure that his guys, not that you're his guys, but like his team members are focused on track. We don't want you distracted in the garden. Basically, is what I'm saying.
That's actually really sweet. You know
Yeah.
that.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, it is sweet. And I do believe you. I'm trying to say that I do believe you. So
Yeah, and we
I feel like my tone maybe is wrong. I don't know.
yeah, it was,
You're playing Elodie. Like honestly,
Yeah.
your character's very form fitting.
Yeah.
You're playing a
well,
wronged rogue that is looking for family. That is so fitting.
Aren't
let's
all
go.
of you guys also looking for family?
Nope.
No.
Well,
Nesfit literally just said he is looking for family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it
it's
fits. Okay.
the two of you. Yeah, but
Just the two.
so I guess we're going to the tower.
All right. How do you approach? Across the market square? Do you get closer and then get to the tower? What do you do?
We start yelling his mentor's name as we walk down the street.
Bad idea.
Roll
No,
for initiative.
nope.
Okay.
No.
So-
So how do you?
I mean,
I'm
let me put
thinking-
it this way, Nevarland. If you were to call out, as you're walking down the street, you would not find a Tully near the party anywhere at all. He'd have slipped
they-
away. He'd have slipped away instantly.
No,
I-
no.
I'm assuming we can do what we were doing. Like we're going through the little houses area. If we go in through, I can't really navigate, but like through these little alleyways into, instead of walking on the street, go in through between the buildings. So we're still not in the open. We got a little bit of shielding from anything over in this area. We can at least walk in through there.
The tower is over here.
Yeah, this is the tower.
Not there.
Oh, that's the tower. Damn. Okay, never mind. Scratch what I just said. I was thinking 15 was a tower.
I was compelled by your story until I looked where your mouse was, and I was like, that still means that you need to cross the entire square.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like Nevarland, where are you going,
Sorry,
dude?
I was honestly thinking that the tower was number 10 because it
Yeah.
looks like because everything is yeah, okay. Never mind.
So,
That's the Amethyst Academy tower.
so we're gonna. I guess we're gonna keep going the same direction.
This is the clockwork. Oh, okay. Okay.
The clockwork
That does
tower,
make
yes.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right in
there.
the middle there, isn't it? It's oof.
That's way in the middle of the city. That's like we already made a choice. Let's go. So I told
No,
you.
I
you guys-
mean we don't have. We can change our minds too. Like that was.
It's just 1,000 feet. What
yeah,
is it?
we made the decision. We gotta stick to it. Here we go. So I
Okay.
totally.
All right. So you move towards the tower, along the buildings, and then at a place that is closer to the tower, you finally decide that you need to get to the tower and you cross, right?
Yeah.
Good. The base of the tower looks like a tower, really. It's a rather square building, and the bases has but a few small steps towards the entrance, and the entrance itself is a wooden door that seems to be closed. As you take your first steps toward the tower, all of a sudden, above you, you hear a bellowing screech, a really loud one.
Fucking called it.
And as you look up, you see in the sky a harpy, but not just a normal harpy. This harpy looks decidedly different. Instead of what you have seen flying in and out over there, which look mostly like white grayish, this harpy is slightly bigger and has rather large red wings. And she cackles as she sees you moving towards the tower. Well, my sisters, it seems that today our dinner is presenting itself to us at our very doorstep. Can you set the table? And then let's go get him. Come on in. We're expecting you. And she flies back in.
We can fix her.
And that is where we're going to end for today.
But wait, she went back
that's going
and
to be fun.
basically said we should come into the tower.
Oh, she invited you in.
Huh.
Well, she would. I guess you're saying she'd love to have us for dinner.
Yes.
We can fix her.
Yeah. Well, next week. Now, Barlin, being the upstanding royal he is, it'd be impolite to turn down a dinner invitation from a countess, no less. So.
Exactly. Royalty.
It's not because you're following something in your pants here or something, right?
It's in the it's the genetics, man. It
Yeah,
is-
there it is.
yeah. Oh, super. Well,
Pretty
guess-
bird.
I guess next week we can all vote to walk the other direction and run away. So, sorry, Nespip, we gotta go. Lord have mercy.
We have a
Well, if
rain.
anything,
Can we have a rain check on this invitation?
Well, I mean, one thing, she doesn't look like a Grenham, so like that is one. But maybe he's also joining you for dinner. So,
Hey, 15 years is a long time. He could have changed just like the royal that we talked about earlier.
this is a fair point.
Oh my god.
That's going to be a fun session next week. In more ways than one, I will tell you.
Nespip, I hope this dude's worth it.
I mean, I'm sorry, but somebody just presented themselves to us that it's called the Crimson Countess and is like a twice the fucking size harpy.
Yeah.
In the words of Han Solo, I have a bad feeling about this.
I will also say the image is true to nature in that you will have seen that she is sporting some sort of a spear in her hands, and there was some lightning traveling through that.
Yeah. Let me try that again. I have a bad feeling about this.
Okay.
As long as she doesn't use any legendary actions, right?
Stop right now. I swear to God.
That's the kind of woman I want to take the head home of. That's what I'm thinking right there. I'm just having a thought that she might be a very, very special kind of creature here, in that.
Okay. I'm kind of done with this. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just.
What's up? Are you like, just a quick heads up? Like,
No,
are you okay?
Like, yeah, I'm okay. I mean, I'm not okay with what's being said about women, but
Oh no,
What?
this
I'm
is this.
okay.
We're not talking about women. I'm talking about like I don't know if she's a legendary beast. Like to kill and like that's part of one of the things. Like I'm
You
not.
you made an example of your grandfather being trapped by a harpy, which would
Mhm.
be like
That happened in the Dragon of Iceberry Peak, remember?
Yeah, remember? It was like I was being literal. Like a harpy
Oh.
sang her
We met
song.
harpies and yeah.
I was being literal.
That was in the Tower of Storms. He got lured by one of the harpies.
He got enthralled 3 times in a row.
okay.
Isabel, I'm sorry. I don't want you to think I was trying to be. I wasn't trying to be like have a whatever kind of joke. I was actually being literal. That's what I was referencing. The Tower of Storms.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Please don't think I was like that. I was being literal with the. I wasn't like saying a woman was a harpy.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about this some more? I think this is an open space, and I think it is important if you want to vocalize this that you can.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like we spent the whole session me trying to vocalize it and it didn't really work. So
Would you like some time to do that now, then, or would you prefer not to? Like either or is fine.
I'd prefer not to.
That is
Which
fine.
feels like a point in favor of not communicating, which is sad, but it's all right.
If you prefer to do that at another time, either later or even like in text message, that is perfectly fine. Like, no, that's, I think no one here has ill intent. And if there was something that in any shape or form was perceived as such, then I think we should talk about it because this is a game that should be enjoyable for everyone. And if there is anything that is like hitting on that, then we should talk about it. Again, I think we can do right now if you'd like to, but if you feel uncomfortable in doing so, then we can also wait.
All right. And yeah. With that ending, we are looking forward to a potentially quite the encounter next week. I am gonna go chillax a little bit because I've been live for almost 14 hours now, and yeah. Oh, I bet the encounter is gonna kick someone's ass. That's for sure. Anyways, yeah, tired. Gonna go relax, and then I'm gonna go sleep. So, hey, thanks for chilling. Episode 16, and see you next. Wait, no, that's tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Normal stream times. Toodles. I really hope she doesn't kill one of us. That would be fucking sick. Anyway, toodles.